So we shall go back to look at some of the business that is lined up for consideration. A recap on some of the issues that I had addressed earlier is that the motion by the Senate Majority Leader, Honorable Aaron Cheruiyot, with regards to suspension of the morning sitting of the Senate on the Wednesday, 28th of May, the year 2025, is part of the business that the members will have to consider this afternoon. Remember, the sitting that is expected to be suspended is tomorrow morning. So that is a business that has to be looked into this afternoon before the House adjourns. And this is with regards to the annual National Prayer Breakfast meetings. That's all right.
To call the first order.
Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Next order, clerk.
Order number 3.
Senator Fernandi. Can you proceed, clerk?
Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the Senate. Today, Tuesday, the 27th of May, 2025. This is the county government disbursement, county government's additional allocation cash disbursement schedule for the financial year 2024-2025. Mr. Speaker, I beg to lay.
Next order, clerk.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Clerk on papers. The chairperson of finance. Majority Leader, you laid your paper, yes, but the chairperson of the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget had a paper to lay also, unless you're saying you did that on their behalf. Okay, let's proceed as the Committee of Finance and Budget get their act together.
Order number 7, questions and statements.
Clerk, kindly, clerk. Clerk, call order number 6 again.
Okay.
Just call
order number 6, notices of motion.
The Senate Majority Leader.
of the following motion: that notwithstanding the resolution of the Senate made on the 19th of February 2025, pursuant to Standing Order number 32, on approval of the Senate calendar regular sessions for the fourth session 2025, and further notwithstanding the provision of Standing Order number 34.1, the Senate resolves to suspend its morning sitting on Wednesday, 28 May 2025. Mr. Speaker, I thank you.
The Chairperson, Standing Committee on Finance and Budget. That is deferred. Senator Karungwa Thangwa. That business is dropped. Next order.
Order number 7, questions and statements.
Statement pursuant to Standing Order 53.1, the Honorable Senator David Wafula. That statement is dropped. The Honorable Senator for Kakamega County, Senator Dr. Boni Kalwale.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order number 53.1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Health on a matter of grave national concern regarding the employment of the staff of the Social Health Authority, SHA. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Secretary / CEO of the Public Service Commission, via letter dated 21st of November 2024 and addressed to all individual former National Health Insurance Fund, aka NHIF staff, required the said staff to acknowledge the receipt immediately they got the letters and state whether they accept or reject the terms of their temporary deployment, something, Mr. Speaker, which caused a lot of anxiety, panic, and confusion among members of staff. Mr. Speaker, the 6-month contract period outlined in the said letter under reference came to an end on 22nd of May 2025. In this regard, I request that the committee addresses the following. 1, the total number of staff that the Social Health Insurance Authority plans to recruit to fill its approved staff establishment, and whether the employees to be recruited will be entirely sourced from staff of the defunct National Hospital Insurance Funds, NHIF. 2, the approved exit package for those who will not be appointed by SHA and opt to retire from the public service. And finally, 3, the committee should give details of the redeployment plan for the staff who will not be appointed by Social Health Insurance Authority and who wish to be redeployed within the public service. These details should include the capacities or positions they will hold and whether they will retain the current terms of employment. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator George Mbugua.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53.1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Trade, Industrialization and Tourism on a matter of national concern regarding the implementation status of the extended producer responsibility by the manufacturers. Mr. Speaker, sir, Section 5.1 of the Sustainable Waste Management Act, Cap 387C, under the Sustainable Waste Management Extended Producer Responsibility Regulations 2024, outlines the obligations of the manufacturers under the EPR framework. In the statement, the committee should address the following. 1, the current implementation status of EPR obligation by manufacturers across the country, including comprehensive list of compliant and non-compliant manufacturers. And 2, the total amount of levies collected and penalties imposed on the manufacturers failing to comply with EPR obligations, along with a breakdown of the beneficiaries of the funds collected from these levies and the penalties. And 3, an explanation for the continued presence and proliferation of banned single-use plastics in the market, particularly in consumer packaging. And last, the measures put in place to promote public awareness and sensitization on EPR obligations with specific focus on outreach to county governments. Thank you.
Senator Tabitha Mutinda.
Thank you, Chair. I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53.1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee of Finance and Budget on a matter of national concern regarding the effective operationalization of the Victim Protection Trust Fund, which is closely linked to the Child Fund. In the statement, the committee should address the following: the status and progress made in implementing public finance management regulations aimed at fast-tracking the finalization of the draft regulations governing the trust fund. The measures in place to enhance the effectiveness of the fund in response to all deserving cases while minimizing the risk of duplication or multiple benefits, considering that victim protection is currently spread across various legislations with differing mechanisms. And lastly, Mr. Speaker, whether the Victim Protection Fund has considered developing a comprehensive funding needs assessment model to estimate the overall financial requirements important in informing budgetary engagements with the National Treasury and development partners. Thank you.
Now, honorable senators, I will allow comments for 15 minutes. If you get an opportunity to speak, you speak for not more than 3 minutes. Senator Fernandi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Sir, I want to support the statement by Senator Boni Khalwale on the issues of employment of staff under Social Health Authority. Mr. Speaker, I think what we need is a priority basis of National Health Insurance Fund staff to be given priority, Mr. Speaker. It is unfair to subject them to double recruitment process, Mr. Speaker, and therefore I hope and believe the Public Service Commission, Social Health Authority, Mr. Speaker, should look into that issue and ensure that there is proper transition. I think the easiest thing or the humility way of doing things, Mr. Speaker, is just to allow these staff that were in NHIF to move to their same capacity, their job description, their cadres, Mr. Speaker, so that we can get value for. But I want to assure the country, Mr. Speaker, that SHA is working. I was in one of my local hospitals over the weekend, Mr. Speaker, Kapsabet County Referral Hospital. Kenyans of all works, SHA is working. I think the naysayers, Mr. Speaker, have now changed tune, that it is working but not effective. But we are doing very well, Mr. Speaker. Everything has a challenge. And I want to thank the Kikuyu artists, Mr. Speaker. I saw the other day, they were with the Deputy President, Professor Kithure Kindiki, and they have confirmed, Abkai Kolu Karangu Muraya said that SHA is working. I want to ask the former Deputy President to stop profiling Kikuyu musicians, Mr. Speaker, for saying SHA is working. If it is working, Mr. Speaker, they should look for other things to fight the government for. There are many 1,000 and things, but because of bitterness and hatred, Mr. Speaker, they will never succeed. Mr. Speaker, finally, on the issue of UHC, we want to say that our staff, we want to ask the Ministry of Health, the National Assembly and the Senate, Mr. Speaker, the unions of health practitioners, Mr. Speaker, to come to the table. Let us ensure there is a proper transition of UHC to permanent and pensionable and ensure that they pay gratuity, Mr. Speaker. We are tired, Mr. Speaker. We can't concentrate. There is a lot of noise of everyday UHC staff demonstrating. Mr. Speaker, and I hope by the end of this, with your indulgence understanding order number 1, you need to direct the Health Committee to give us progress report on the ongoing UHC strike. Mr. Speaker, thank you for that indulgence. I thank you.
Senator Esi or Kenyuri.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to support the statement by Senator Thabita Mutinda on the Protection Trust Fund, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, for your information, I think most Kenyans do not even actually know whether this fund exists. After inaction, not so much was done to create awareness among members of the public who are actually victims of crimes perpetuated day in, day out, and especially for the children, because if we have no children, Mr. Speaker, we have no generation. So I think as part of our oversight role as a Senate, we need to participate clearly in ensuring we also raise awareness so that this fund can be adequately be contributed to, so that most of the victims of crime out there can be beneficiaries. Because since 2014, when we had this act in place, very little has been done to ensure that this fund is fully operational to assist the most needy elements we have in society. So, Mr. Speaker, the committee that is going to look into that matter should go ahead and maybe out of their own volition conduct and invite members to a public participation exercise whereby this matter is going to be fully owned by the members, and for us to communicate to members of the public that we have this in place. We have not given a blind eye to victims who suffer from several crimes committed, and that as members of parliament, we want to enact laws which can be made use of, not gather dust in the shelves, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Senator Tabitha Mutinda.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Since I cannot comment on my own statement, I'll proceed to make a comment on Senator Mbugwa's statement and briefly on Boni's statement. And for Senator Mbugwa, it's in regards to the issue of the EPR regulations. And more specific, Mr. Speaker, narrowing to the single-use plastics. Mr. Speaker, in 2017, this country banned the use of single use of plastic, Mr. Speaker. But as we speak, as the Senator puts it, there needs to be deeper clarification as far as the single use of plastic is concerned. The agricultural industry, Mr. Speaker, to be more specific, is still using the plastic seedling bags instead of using the alternatives that are in place, that are in the market, and that is none other than the non-woven bags that replace the single plastic use. So when NEMA keeps on giving extensions and authorizing that institutions can be able to use this single plastic, then at what point do we, put off the issue of single plastic, Mr. Speaker? Mr. Speaker, on the issue of the matter of the SHA employees, recently, I think a few weeks ago, the clerk authorized or allowed the SHA team to be able to come to Parliament to assist us and the staff to be able to do the registration. Mr. Speaker, personally, the staff that I came across are very young people who are still in this institution. And as Senator Boni puts it, if they cannot be absorbed within the SHA system because the numbers that are available are too minimal, then where do we expect these young people with very young families then to go? Because, Mr. Speaker, from where we sit, yes, SHA is working. And for it to even continue working and working better, we need to ensure that the staff from NHIF is fully absorbed within the system, because these are young people. Where do we expect them to go? For this system, which is bigger, which is the best system that we are having currently, and which is continue to work and has had some challenges, if we face off this team, then how do we ensure maximum output if we do not absorb these young people who have been working through NHIF to be absorbed in SHA? It's something that where I sit as a member of the Health Committee will take keen interest on ensuring that this issue is addressed. The way we've also taken care of the other issues, like the UHC employees, which we've pushed, that the budget as we speak right now is over 4 billion budget, 1.7 billion, Mr. Speaker, for doctors' arrears that we've still pushed, and many other funds, especially the CHP funds, that we've also pushed, and these allocations are there.
Senator Kinyua.
Asante sana Bwana Spika kunipa fursa hii. Kwanza kabisa nataka kuunga mkono taarifa iliyoletwa na kiranja wa wengi kuhusu mfumo mpya wa afya wa SHA. Bwana Spika, ni vizuri ijulikane ya kwamba wakati tulipopata katiba mpya, watu ambao walikuwa wakifanya kazi katika manispaa na katika gatuzi zile zingine, Bwana Spika, walijumuishwa na kuajiriwa katika gatuzi zetu, Bwana Spika. Vile vile, Bwana Spika, itakuwa ni vizuri na ni bora zaidi wafanyikazi ambao walikuwa wakifanya na NHIF waweze kujumuishwa katika mfumo mpya wa SHA. Ndiposa sehemu ambazo hazifanyi vizuri kabisa, Bwana Spika, hawa wafanyikazi waliokuwa na uzoefu, Bwana Spika, wataweza kuleta ule utaratibu mpya, Bwana Spika, na wale wafanyikazi, Bwana Spika, wanapaswa kujumuishwa. Bwana Spika, kikatiba itakuwa si vizuri, Bwana Spika, kuwadhulumu hawa wafanyikazi ambao wengi wamefanya kazi na mfumo wa NHIF, Bwana Spika, na hata ijapokuwa, Bwana Spika, mfumo mpya umeletwa, hawa wafanyikazi kisheria wanapaswa wajumuishwe na waweze kuendelea, kwa sababu wamekuwa kitegemea ile kazi, Bwana Spika, na wameifanya kwa uzuri. Lakini kwa sababu ni mambo yamebadilika, kumeletwa mfumo mpya, ni vizuri wale ambao walikuwa wakifanya kazi pale wakumbukwe na wajumuishwe, Bwana Spika, kwa sababu wana familia, maisha yao wanapaswa kuendelea mbele, na sisi tukiwa wakilishi wao, Bwana Spika, na kwa sababu afya tayari imepelekwa katika gatuzi zetu, tunapaswa kuifuatilia na tuone inafanya kazi, na itafanya kazi, Bwana Spika, ikiwa kuna vifaa na vile vile kuna wafanyikazi. Kwa hivyo wafanyikazi ambao wamezoea na wana ujuzi na wamebombea katika ile kazi ni wale ambao ni wa NHIF. Kwa hivyo, Bwana Spika, nakubaliana na Senator Boni kwa hii taarifa aliyoleta, tuweze kuwajumuisha na waweze kuendelea na kazi ambayo wamekuwa akifanya. Bwana Spika, nashukuru kwa kunipa msa huo.
Senator Mundigi.
Asante Bwana Spika kwa kunipa ruhusa niweze kuchangia mjadala wa mambo ya SHA na SHI. Bwana Spika, ningeomba wakati huu tunataka kuangalia kaunti zetu zinaendelea ama nchi yetu ya Kenya juu ya economy recovery. Tuache mambo ya vita mingi. Hii ministry ya afya imekuwa na shida nyingi hapa na pale, na mimi nikiwa senator wa Embu County niko na ushuhuda ati SHA inafanya kazi ile inafaa katika kaunti nyingi, kwa sababu hata sisi tukiwa Njumbe, Bwana Spika, imekuwa hata mambo ya harambee, mambo ya kuchangia pesa masinani inaendelea ikipungua. Kwa hiyo ningeomba Bwana Spika, mambo ya wale wafanyikazi wa zamani wasiweze kutimuliwa. Wengine wako ni wachanga, wengine waliajiriwa hawana siku nyingi, hawana miezi nyingi, yende hawakuwa na makosa. Bwana Spika, naunga mkono waweze kuongezewa muda, waweze kuangalia makosa yao, waweze kuendelea na wafunzwe vile watakuwa wanafanya kazi na mambo ya SHA. Kwa sababu SHA katika Kenya, katika kaunti 47 tuko na ushuhuda, watu wengi wamekuwa akilalamika, lakini mtu yoyote akigonjeka na akienda akirashwa, pesa inalipwa na inaendelea vizuri. Kwa hivyo njia ya kurekebisha sio kutimua hao wafanyikazi, ni njia ya kuwarekebisha, kwa sababu kuna njia ya kuwarekebisha, wako na ujuzi wa elimu. Kwa hivyo mimi naunga mkono waweze kuangaliwa, ndio waweze kurudishwa kazini, wasitimuliwe mambo. Tumeona miaka mingi watu wengi wakitimuliwa wanaenda wanakufa, familia inasoroteka, kunaharibika. Kwa hivyo agenda ni kuangalia vile wataweza kuangaliwa, waweze kurudishwa kazi, ndio SHA iweze kuendelea vizuri. Pia mambo ya SHA, tumesikia hata wenye muziki wale ambaye wiki jana walikuwa wameitwa na deputy president wa Kenya, walikuwa 50 na wamekuwa wakishuhudia na wamesema wataimba mambo ya Kenya vile SHA inafanya kazi, ingawa wengine nilisikia wakisema ni makosa. Lakini nashukuru rais wa Kenya na deputy waweze kuita wenye muziki wote waweze kuimba mambo ya SHA vile inafanya kazi katika nchi yetu ya Kenya. Kwa hiyo Bwana Spika, wale watu wanataka kutimuliwa ni heri warudishwe, waweze kuelimishwa, na ninajua wakipatiwa nafasi watajitetea na mambo ya SHA itaendelea vizuri. Kwa hivyo mimi naunga mkono hii mjadala wa Senator Karwale. Asante Bwana Spika.
Senator Mandago.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I wish to make comments on the statement by the Senator for Kakamega, Senator Boni Khalwale. Honorable Speaker, indeed, I've seen this letter asking the SHA staff or the former NHIF staff who are going to be deployed and those who are going to be redeployed to other various agencies in government. Honorable Speaker, I want to say that as a committee and as this House, Honorable Speaker, when we crafted the laws that enabled the rollout of SHA and SHIF, Honorable Speaker, in our recommendation, we had made it clear that no staff working under NHIF should lose their jobs. Honorable Speaker, the uncertainty that is arising from the issuance of these letters is, one, the fact that the staff don't know exactly where they're being redeployed to and the terms they are going to be engaged. Honorable Speaker, my concern as the chair of the Senate Health Committee, Honorable Speaker, is that SHA is redeploying what they call excess staff, but the new agencies that we created to support the rollout of UHC, like the digital agency, Honorable Speaker, is recruiting. The Ministry of Health should actually first consider redeploying these officers within the sagas in the ministry where there is shortage of staffing instead of recruiting new staff, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the staff that worked under NHIF were more than 2,000 staff, and therefore there is a pool of experienced staff that the agencies within the health sector can draw from instead of going into recruitment, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I therefore agree with the sentiments of Senator Boni Khalwale that there is need for the ministry and SHA to clearly communicate in a manner that is not going to cause anxiety, but in a manner that is also going to guarantee the workers that they are going to continue earning. And we hope, Honorable Speaker, as they do the deployments, that the benefits that have already been conferred to the staff in terms of payment, remuneration, allowance will not be lost or reduced, because that is a right under Employment Act, and even under the ILO requirements, Honorable Speaker, any benefit that has already been conferred to a worker should not be removed. I therefore support and second this assent.
Senator Sifuna.
Mstahiki Spika, nilikuwa nimewaahidi wa Kenya kwamba leo tutazungumza kwa Kiswahili. Manake nilikuwa natarajia kwamba mswada wangu wa kuzungumzia masuala ya vile ambavyo wa Kenya walidhalilishwa kule Tanzania utakuwepo leo, lakini wacha nizungumzie hii hoja ambayo imeletwa na Mheshimiwa Boni Khalwale. Mheshimiwa Spika, nawasikia wenzangu hapo wanazungumza wakipiga kifua kwamba SHA inafanya. Na kwa mtazamo wangu mwenyewe, kama hiyo SHA itakuwa ikifanya, ni wananchi watatuambia, sio nyinyi viongozi hapo, kwa sababu hapa hamna mtu yoyote ambaye anaenda kupokea matibabu na anatumia SHA. Kwa hivyo ukisimama hapo useme SHA inafanya, utuonyeshe ulitibiwa na SHA lini. Jambo la pili, Mheshimiwa Spika, wakati ambapo tulikuwa tunazungumzia huu mswada, tukasema kwamba tungependa kuwapa nafasi wale ambao walikuwa wanafanya kazi katika shirika la NHIF wasifurushwe kazini. Mimi mwenyewe kama senator wa Nairobi ndio nilileta mabadiliko katika mswada ule wa kusema kwamba wale ambao wako pale wapewe nafasi ya kwanza pasi na kutarajiwa ama kutakiwa kufanya interviews tena, Mheshimiwa Spika. Lakini hawa viongozi ambao wanapiga kifua sasa wanasema tuwalinde wale wafanyikazi, walipiga kura kuhakikisha kwamba badiliko hilo halikuweza kujumulishwa katika mswada huu. Kwa hivyo ni unafiki mkubwa, Mheshimiwa Spika, tunapowasikia watu ambao walikuwa na fursa ya kuhakikisha kwamba wafanyikazi hao watapata haki, wakapiga kura njia nyingine, kisha sasa leo ndio wanapata sauti kutuambia kwamba SHA inafanya. Mheshimiwa Spika, mimi na watu pale ndani ya shirika la SHA wananiambia hata hizi unaona ati wanafanya interviews za kuweza kuwapa watu kazi pale ndani. Mheshimiwa Spika, hizo interview ni za bandia. Manake tayari wale mahojiano, wale ambao wanaenda kupewa hizi nafasi tayari wanajulikana. Mheshimiwa Spika.
Senator wa Nairobi.
Naam.
Tafadhali ukichagua lugha moja, itumie lugha moja. Usichanganye lugha.
Mheshimiwa Spika, alikuwa nimetohoa lakini nimekosolewa hapa na Mheshimiwa Mwaruma. Kwa hivyo utaniwia radhi hapo tu, lakini nilikuwa nasema kwamba hizo mahojiano ambayo yanafanyika ni mahojiano bandia, wale wenye kupewa barua tayari wanajulikana. Jambo la kutamausha zaidi, Mheshimiwa Spika, ni hata hawa ambao wamechaguliwa juzi kama madirekta, Mheshimiwa Spika, walikuwepo kwenye rada ya tume ya maadili na kupambana na ufisadi. Na sasa hivi nitaweza kuleta hoja hapa kuweza kuleta ushahidi kwamba wale ambao wamepewa hizi nafasi tayari walikuwa na tuhuma za ufisadi, na walikuwa ile shirika la EACC tayari walikuwa wametangaza kwamba hawa jamaa wanafaa waende mahakamani wakajibu mashtaka yanayoambatana na mambo ya ufisadi. Sasa itakuwaje tena leo wamekuwa wasafi wetu wanapewa nafasi katika shirika la SHA? Kwa hivyo Mheshimiwa Spika, nataka kuomba hawa ndugu zetu maseneta wenzangu kwamba iwapo huna habari kamili usije hapa ukasema mambo ya uongo, mambo ambayo huyaelewi.
Senator Lekina.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to support the statement by the distinguished senator from Kakamega. Mr. Speaker, the issue of uncertainty when you are an employee are things that makes us, and I'm sure most of us have gone through that process before the announcements for the results are done by the IEBC. So it is imperative, Mr. Speaker, that we clarify this matter, and I want to call upon NHIF or SHA to be able to make a determination of how many of the SHA employees are going to be absorbed permanently. And I know that there are those who have requested to be transferred to other government departments, so it will be important for them to be clear. But I want to assure the employees that as a member of the Health Committee, this is a matter which not only, that is not only dealt by the Labour Committee, but also the Health Committee will also be looking into this issue. There are certain things which must be clear, Mr. Speaker. And I hope that when the committee will be looking at it, because I know it will go with the Labour and also the Health Committee, is to look at the terms of engagements. How different are they compared to the previous NHIF engagement? It is important also that right now when we are all staff of resources, that SHA looks into a process that will avoid serious legal battles. These people are uncertain, they don't know about their tomorrow, they were employed on a permanent basis. So now transitioning into the new entity from NHIF to SHA must also be based on the same terms. So it is imperative that we look at that to end that uncertainty. I know there was a meeting between the Cabinet Secretary of Health who attempted to clarify the matter that all those employees will be absorbed. So I want to call upon SHA, and I know the new CEO is about to come in on board, maybe next week, that this would be the first thing that you can be able to do. The chairperson of SHA, Dr. Ali, I have a lot of confidence in him. I know that when they work together, they can be able to see that we end this bickering about and also this uncertainty. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Senate Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I have a quick comment on this issue of SHA. And I don't know why people get offended or worked up when we say SHA is working. What else are we supposed to say, Mr. Speaker? You know, Mr. Speaker, this addiction to bad news in this country, leaders must begin to live also and know that leaders are dealers in hope. I want to celebrate because I have visited 4 out of 6 of my sub-county hospitals in my county. And for each of those hospitals that I have visited, the one thing that I ask all the patients is, were you registered with SHA before being admitted? And for all of them, 100% that told me they had registered before, Mr. Speaker, SHA met part of their bill as any other insurance will be. So, Mr. Speaker, if we report back, we're only doing our duty because that is a work of a representative of the people. On this issue that has been brought by Senator Boni Halwale, it's an issue that is very serious and requires the keen attention of those that are addressing this matter. I voted, Mr. Speaker, against the amendment that had seen transitioning of all NHIF staff into SHA, Mr. Speaker. Fully aware why I did that, Mr. Speaker. Because I know for a fact, Mr. Speaker, that 95 or even 99% of former NHIF staff are diligent Kenyans, Mr. Speaker, who went about their duties very well. They worked and served this country well. Those needs to be considered. But I am fully aware, Mr. Speaker, that in NHIF we had staff, Mr. Speaker, that were approving the amputation of a human being 4 to 6 times, yet we know a human being has only 2 legs, Mr. Speaker. You want us to take those ones to share as well? There must be a vetting process. And I want to believe, Mr. Speaker, that that process needs to be done in a way that no Kenyan ends up suffering unfairly, Mr. Speaker. And for that reason, Mr. Speaker, I hope that our health committee, Mr. Speaker, when they consider this particular matter, Mr. Speaker, will guide.
What is your point of order, Senator Boni?
Mr. Speaker, 105, you heard the Senator of Kericho accuse employees of NHIF for approving claims for people who have been amputated 5 times. Is it in order to mislead the country when it is a fact that even one limb, you can amputate it, Mr. Speaker, 10 times? Yes, because, for example, Mr. Speaker, this is important. People should not call Kenyans thieves when they don't have facts. A doctor who is treating a patient with diabetes, the limb starts rotting. When the toes are rotten, you cut. When the hand goes, you cut. When the arm goes, you cut. When the limb goes, you cut. So why are we teaching people to think that there is no person who is clean? These clerks of NHIF who are now want to be punished, I'm afraid some powerful people in government want to employ their relatives,
Senator Boni.
people from their communities.
Senator Boni, your point of order is not sustained. Majority Leader, proceed.
The problem, Senator Alwale, was on his phone when I was making my point. That's why he completely misunderstood what I mentioned, Mr. Speaker. The point that I was pursuing is a point of fictitious claims. Unless you want to mislead this House, Senator Boni, that NHIF did not have challenges of fictitious claims. That is in the open. Read, Mr. Speaker, from the reports of the Auditor General on operations in that institution. And we have said, for your benefit, Senator Boni Halwale, that I am completely clear in my mind that 95 to even 99% of the employees that work in that institution are diligent Kenyans. I have said there must be a vetting process to establish that if there's an employee who was found, Mr. Speaker, to be involved in the business of handling fictitious claim and brought down NHIF, then we need not transition such employees into SHA. That was a simple point, Boni. I don't know why you would want to take issue with such proposition. Unless, Mr. Speaker, Senator Boni has joined Sifuna's band, whose duty, Mr. Speaker, is to get excited and say there is absolutely nothing right in anything that I say.
Senator Majority Leader. Senator Majority Leader, that is uncalled for. That is uncalled for, and I'll ask you to withdraw it. It's uncalled for.
I said Senator Sifuna's band, which never agrees with anything that I say. Surely, Mr. Speaker, unless Senator Sifuna wants to rise and say he agrees with the things I say.
Senator Majority Leader, just withdraw that.
Okay, Mr. Speaker, for the record of the House, I withdraw that comment, Mr. Speaker.
Senator,
no, offended by what?
Senator Mungatana.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to make a comment on the SHA statement before this House. Mr. Speaker, on this question of employment, a number of people from Nyamira County have come to see me, and others have talked to me on phone, and it is the same issue, Mr. Speaker. There is a lot of worry about whether they will retain their employment positions. And Mr. Speaker, there is a case for equity. Because, you know, Mr. Speaker, the NHIF, we were very few employees from Nyamira County. Now, again, they are feeling threatened that they might lose positions from NHIF in this new social health authority. So, Mr. Speaker, I am requesting the Committee on Health, when they are looking at this matter, they also look at the question of equity. Mr. Speaker, equity in this country has not been operationalized in many occasions. You find some people who have dominated the employment opportunities, not just in SHA,
but in other places, feeling so entitled, Mr. Speaker, that even when equity is being done, they claim it is against them. That sense of entitlement that has hit, Mr. Speaker, must be controlled. So as they look at the question of employment in SHA, let them be fair to all counties, Mr. Speaker, including Nyamira County. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Before I allow the clerk to call the next order, we had deferred order number 5 in respect to the Chairperson Standing Committee on Finance and Budget tabling of a paper, and thereafter proceeding to give notice on the same.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the Senate today, the 27th of May. Report of the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget on the county government's county allocations cash disbursement schedule for the financial year 2024-2023.
Now, the Chairperson, Standing Committee on Finance and Budget, you may proceed to give notice on the same.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The report of the Standing Committee of Finance and Budget on the county government's additional allocation cash disbursement schedule for financial year 2024-2023. Mr. Speaker, I beg to give notice 2024-2025. Thank you. I'm happy when I notice that my Senator Nairobi is always very keen. I beg to give notice of the following motion, that the Senate adopts the report of the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget on the county government's additional allocation cash disbursement schedule for the financial year 2024-2025, laid on the table of the Senate today, the 27th of May, 2025, and that pursuant to Section 17(7) of the Public Finance Management Act, the Senate approves the county government's additional allocation cash disbursement schedule for financial year 2024-2025.
Next order, Clerk.
Order number 8, motion, suspension of the morning sitting of the Senate on Wednesday, 28th of May, 2025.
Senate Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to move the following motion, that notwithstanding the resolutions of the Senate made on the 19th of February 2025, pursuant to Standing Order number 32 on the approval of the Senate calendar regular sessions for the 4th session 2025, and further notwithstanding the provisions of Standing Order number 34, the Senate resolves to suspend its morning sitting on Wednesday, the 28th of May 2025. Mr. Speaker, this is a fairly straightforward matter. We have the breakfast, national prayer breakfast that's organized by Parliament this yearly occasion tomorrow morning, and therefore this is to pave way for that event tomorrow morning. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I want to request the House to agree that we reschedule our events for tomorrow morning to another date until we sit again at 2:30 in the afternoon. Mr. Speaker, I want to request the Senate Minority Whip, Senator Ledama Olekina, to second.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, if the majority leader had not yet pointed at me, maybe I would have had a different opinion. But I do rise to second. I think it is imperative that everything we do we seek guidance from the High Almighty. And given that we are going through difficult times, and difficult times require special prayers to be able to allow us to be able to navigate these challenges of either adoption, what are they called? Abductions or not abduction, whatever they are. We just need to go and kneel to God and seek protection. So, Mr. Speaker, I beg to second.
Honourable Senators, will now proceed to propose the question. The notwithstanding, the resolution of the Senate made on the 19th of February 2025, pursuant to Standing Order 32, on approval of the Senate calendar regular sessions for the 4th session 2025, and further, notwithstanding the provisions of Standing Order 34.1 of the Senate resolves to suspend its morning sitting on Wednesday, 20th May 2025. Now, Honourable Senators, the floor is open for debate, but this being a procedural motion, with your concurrence, I may proceed to put the question so that we vote. Very well. So, Honourable Senators, I'll proceed to put the question that notwithstanding the resolution of the Senate made on the 19th January 2025, pursuant to Standing Order 32 on the approval of the Senate calendar regular sessions for the 4th session 2025, and further notwithstanding the provisions of Standing Order 34.1, the Senate resolves to suspend its morning sitting on Wednesday, 28th of May 2025. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Next order, clerk. You may proceed, Senator for Kakamega.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, to suspend the sitting of the Senate is an extraordinary issue. And Mr. Speaker, we are doing this to appeal to God. I therefore want your direction, Mr. Speaker. Is it possible that all the luminaries of UDA who will be at the prayer meeting tomorrow will find it possible in their hearts to forgive Gloria, because God is the God of a second chance, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I say this. Wait.
Senator Bonny, kindly take your seat. Please, respectfully. Take your seat. Yeah. Clerk, proceed to call the next order, please.
Order number 9, motion. The report, order number 9, motion, the report of the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget on the county government's additional allocations cash disbursement schedule for the financial year 2024-2025.
Chairperson, Standing Committee on Finance and Budget.
How many? 1, 2, 3. No, watu wako kwa lounge, I want to go. Kujeni tutafute watu. Let's go to the lounge and call. Bonnie, please. Tutafute watu. We must pass this.
We have Mark. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I beg to move that the Senate adopts the report of the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget on the County Government Additional Allocation Cash Disbursement Schedule for the financial year 2024-2025, laid on the table of the Senate on Tuesday, 27th of May 2025, and that pursuant to Section 17(7) of the Public Finance Management Act, the Senate approves the County Government Additional Allocation Cash Disbursement Schedule for financial year 2024-2025. Mr. Speaker, we passed the county government allocation, county government additional allocation recently after a lot of controversy between ourselves and the National Assembly. And unfortunately, this has really pushed us to the end of the financial year. And we, as the Finance Committee, we've pushed to get the disbursement schedule in order to guide the National Treasury to be able to release the funds approved within the current financial year. And in the report of the committee, we're recommending for approval of the cash disbursement schedule as contained, the county additional allocation as contained. The Treasury has accepted and presented that they will disburse the entire county additional allocation in the month of May and in the month of June in order for them to comply within the current financial year, as we are already in the process of doing the same county additional allocation and other documents for the following financial year, that is 2025-2026, including division of revenue and other instruments. Mr. Speaker, sir, we are requesting the Senate to approve the disbursement schedule because this is an issue that does not have much controversy. It's just an instrument meant for facilitation of release of the funds of the bill as approved by this House and concurred by the National Assembly through mediation process. If we get this disbursement schedule for county additional allocation approved in time, then we will have the opportunity to have those funds sent to the counties in time before the closure of the financial year, and for the county governments to be able to factor in the current budget they are proposing, because the county governments will most definitely be unable to absorb within this less than 35 days left of the closure of the financial year. However, because most of these funds are going to go to a special purpose account in the county government, because they are conditional and unconditional grants allocated for specific purposes within the county additional allocation, that it is not going to go into the normal processes. However, appropriation of the same will require to be captured in the budgets of the county governments before the closure of the financial year. And that really necessitates the need for us to approve the disbursement schedule to facilitate the flow of funds to be able to be released to county governments. Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to move and request the secondment of Senator Sifuna, the cash disbursement schedule. My apologies. It's just a schedule.
Honourable Speaker, I rise to second. But of course, I was expecting that the chair of the Finance Committee would say a few words about the fact that from the first day that we came to this House, we have passed a disbursement schedule every financial year. National Treasury has never complied with any of the disbursement schedules that we have passed. So I don't know, Honourable Speaker, what confidence the chair has that this ritual that we engage in every year has any meaning at all. If you speak to the county governors, Honourable Speaker, they will tell you they have been receiving the disbursement of the shareable revenue for February in May. Honourable Speaker, why do we engage in this ritual? I am hoping that the people who have been here before or longer can explain to us, really, do we need to do this? And the chair of the finance has rightly noted, if you look at the time that is remaining in the financial year, then you disburse in 2 tranches. And I am sure, I highly suspect that it will not even be done as he has proposed. My view would have been, Honourable Chair, that Treasury must be told to send that money in 1 tranche in this month of May, Honourable Speaker, so that we don't have those stories of capacity to absorb or the time to absorb these resources. Otherwise, for me, as I second, this ritual has never made sense to me because no one listens to us. I thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Honourable Senators will now proceed to propose the question, which is that the Senate adopt the report of the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget on the county government's additional allocations cash disbursement schedule for the financial year 2024-2025, laid on the table of the Senate on Tuesday, the 27th of May 2025, and that pursuant to Section 17(7) of the Public Finance Management Act, the Senate approves the county government's additional allocations cash disbursement schedule for the financial year 2024-2025. Now the floor is open for debate. The Honorable Osotsi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I think I want to echo the statement by Senator Sifuna that this disbursement schedule that we pass for equitable share and also additional allocation has become a ritual, and that no one takes it seriously, especially at the Treasury. Not in terms of the amounts, but in terms of the time when the money is sent. I think something has to be done about this, because looks like junior officers in Treasury are exercising powers which they don't have and which Senate has. Because when we pass this schedule, this is like law, Mr. Speaker, but this law is never followed by Treasury. So I think this is one issue that we really need to interrogate, so that to ensure that when we pass a disbursement schedule, Treasury must look for the money and get that money to the counties. Mr. Speaker, ideally, when we pass the division of revenue in this House, ideally that money should be sent in whole to the counties. But appreciating the fact that government has to have a way of collecting that money, that is why we decided that we send it in bits per month. But even that, they are not able to follow that, Mr. Speaker. So I think we either amend the law to make it mandatory that the schedule must be complied with, or we stop this exercise altogether, because it's not making sense, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, on the issue of additional allocation, it is just this month is ending this week, and then we start June. I wonder, even if this money is sent to the counties, whether they will have time to absorb this money, Mr. Speaker. That's why I support the sentiment that instead of sending this money in two tranches, this money should just be sent in one tranche this month, tomorrow. This money should be sent tomorrow, so that at least counties have a month to absorb this money. Otherwise, Mr. Speaker, we will be just creating an opportunity for this money to be plundered, or this money to be taken back because it has not been spent. Otherwise, I support the motion, but with that additions that maybe the committee should insist that this money should be sent in one tranche at a go. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Mandago.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I support the sending of the money to counties for this conditional allocation. However, Honorable Speaker, I want to agree with Senator Otsosi that I think it is time we amend the law to make it compulsory for National Treasury to send the money to counties as has been allocated as per the schedule, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, we may also want to amend the PFM Act so that we separate the National Treasury from the business of managing finances of the national government, Honorable Speaker, because there's confusion in Treasury that treasuries seem to behave that they are a treasury of national government and county governments have to go there and beg. The Treasury is supposed to serve the two levels of government in an equal measure. Honorable Speaker, it is saddening to note that sometimes salaries for workers in county governments delay, but the salaries in national government agencies and the public service do get their salaries on time. because the disbursement schedule is not being followed by Treasury, Honorable Speaker. And therefore, as we support the passage of this schedule, Honorable Speaker, we are concerned that National Treasury have continuously failed to honor the schedule that this House has developed, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, putting service delivery in counties into jeopardy, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, by failing to follow the disbursement schedule, National Treasury is continuously accumulating pending bills in counties and creating a situation where businesses are collapsing. And Honorable Speaker, one of the reasons or the purpose of government is actually to create employment. If we continue creating pending bills, we are destroying businesses that are actually employers of other Kenyans. Not all Kenyans will be employed by the government. Not all Kenyans will work in public service. There are Kenyans who are being employed by Kenyans who are entrepreneurs, who are running business, and therefore, when National Treasury delay or fail to follow that disbursement schedule, they are actually not only creating a problem for county governments, but they are also generally creating a problem in the economy, Honorable Speaker. And I therefore suggest, Honorable Speaker, to my friend and colleague, the Senator for Mandera and the Chair of Finance and Budget, that as a committee, they consider bringing amendments to PFM Act so that we can streamline this process and ensure that funds go to county on a timely manner, Honorable Speaker. I support.
Senator Jonyut.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I also rise to support the disbursement, disbursement schedule motion, because, Mr. Speaker, we have had issues with counties, and every time we have an opportunity to meet governors or people who work for county governments in our counties, Mr. Speaker, sometimes they take us to task, and because, Mr. Speaker, we always tell people in our counties that we are the people that pass the division of revenue bill and therefore affording our counties cash resources which they spend, Mr. Speaker. But then sometimes these disbursement of funds take months, Mr. Speaker, and therefore service delivery is affected in a negative way. Mr. Speaker, as we support this motion, it's also important that we emphasize that the Treasury follows strictly the disbursement schedule that we are going to pass, Mr. Speaker, so that our counties can also be able to plan. Honorable Speaker, when you do not know when funds will be availed to you, it is very hard for you to plan. And for counties to offer services, Mr. Speaker, they have to do proper planning in good time. And it's only through following of this particular disbursement schedule that we are going to pass through this motion, Mr. Speaker, that counties can be able to plan and deliver services to our people. We have had very many problems also with the delayed salaries for those that work for the county government, and sometimes counties are forced to borrow money from banks, which of course attracts interest, and to pay county government employees. And when then counties borrow money on interest and they pay interest on the same, then it means that the counties which have very limited resources, they continue wasting funds on interest that would have gone to better use and to offer services to our people, Mr. Speaker. And so the Treasury should and must follow strictly this disbursement schedule and disburse money at the right time as per the schedule, in order for counties to be able to continue offering services in the right way, and so that we can also be able to oversight. Because if we know that counties have received funds in time, then we will be able to ask those very important questions as to why services have not been delivered, or as to why there are delays in delivery of the same. And so, Mr. Speaker, I support this motion that we pass this, that disbursement schedule be approved so that, Mr. Speaker, we can continue, doing the service that we are supposed to do to our counties. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I support.
The Senate Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to support this motion by our Budget and Finance Committee Chairperson. And this what now has been termed as a ritual. I think somebody referred to it as a ritual, which nobody adheres to and should be of concern to us. Where I'm concerned, though, is what is being proscribed as a solution eventually to this problem. Mr. Speaker, I have listened to colleagues try to figure out what exactly can we do to ensure that the National Treasury complies with this cash disbursement schedule that we pass. It's important to bring to the attention of colleagues that while we do this ritual every year, Mr. Speaker, there is no record that for the last I don't know how many years in the existence of devolution, that there has been compliance with the schedule to the exact date and time, Mr. Speaker. In fact, much as people may not agree to it, this is the closest we've ever come to a disbursement schedule, because I know many counties now are either catching up with March or April, Mr. Speaker. We have had instances in the past, Mr. Speaker, where we have gotten to June and counties haven't received their December disbursements. I know, Mr. Speaker, you know this for a fact. You have served as a county governor. And this problem doesn't seem to be going away anytime soon. Therefore, as a Senate of the Republic, we must think creatively and we must find ways that are practical and that will eventually make our counties economically viable. As they are today, Mr. Speaker, this is not possible. Look at what we are passing in this disbursement schedule, Mr. Speaker. We are passing additional resources, 2.9 billion shillings for the KIPES. And Senator Roba, you must convince us that in the next division of revenue, or actually when you do county government, CARA, eventually, Senator, that those counties that are yet to receive the counter-matching funds for KIPES, Mr. Speaker, will be considered. Otherwise, we will suffer the prejudice of having passed resources to other counties to the detriment of other counties, Mr. Speaker. There is 3.24 billion that is being passed to CHPs. How unfair, Mr. Speaker. It's either you have a job or you don't. Surely, if in the month of May is when we are sending resources to pay these people that have been working through the year, are we really being fair to these community health promoters, Mr. Speaker? I wish, Mr. Speaker, we were just plain and honest and told them that you do not have a salary. I know it's a stipend, but even that stipend, Mr. Speaker, it must be timely. 5,000, much as it may look like nothing to many people, if it comes in a timely manner, Mr. Speaker, at least it could help people get by. But if we are sending it at the end of the financial year, Mr. Speaker, there is even an extra 1.8 billion, which is basic salary arrears for health workers, Mr. Speaker, across our counties. I told us as a House last week or 2 months ago that we must reflect and begin to feel embarrassed. That every time you hear there's a demonstration outside the Senate, 9 out of 10 times it will be health workers, Mr. Speaker, for one reason or the other. We must confront this issue of remuneration to health workers, Mr. Speaker, at the county level. It is clear that there was no elaborate plan, Mr. Speaker, and everybody keeps pussyfooting about it. Nobody is clear and certain of when and how their matters will eventually be resolved, Mr. Speaker. That situation cannot continue to obtain. And I hope Senator Mandago, together with members that serve in the Health Committee, including you, Senator Mogeni, that you will lead us home. You must at some point lead this House into making the right decision. You must feel bad on behalf of all Kenyans who watch doctors, nurses, health workers, all these health professionals who come outside the Senate each and every year. Today they were there in the morning. I think they'll be back tomorrow. Maybe they're still there. It's not fair. And you as a committee must lead us as a House into making certain decisions that will resolve that particular answer. And you know, previously, all these other challenges that we've been told that, oh, the reason why they can't be considered jointly is that healthcare is devolved and therefore they are being left to be handled by the individual governors depending on how they're able to manage their politics, Mr. Speaker. that cannot be allowed to obtain for too long. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, is to leave it as a food for thought for Senator Roba, Senator Tabitha, my good friend Boni Halwale, and all these people that serve in the Budget and Finance Committee. I was before their committee this morning on a particular matter, Mr. Speaker, that perhaps it has reached a time where we may want to lead the country into issuing a devolution bond, the same way we issue infrastructure bond. I raised this 2 years ago. It wasn't picked up, but I want to still insist that we may want to consider that, Mr. Speaker, because we know on average how much we consume per year. And we also can project for the last, based on what we have consumed the last 10 years, what the annual increment normally looks like, Mr. Speaker. It will make more sense, Mr. Speaker, because I hear people say, oh, separate the Treasury, do this or the other. If the resources are not there, they are not there, Mr. Speaker. We must find ways, just the same way Ministry of Sports and Ministry of Roads have figured out how to fund their roads and find ways through securitization, Mr. Speaker. We can as well issue a devolution bond, Mr. Speaker, through which National Treasury then pays back in the subsequent month on a yearly basis, so that we know for a fact, Mr. Speaker, that this pool of resources is purely dedicated to devolved units. At the particular date, the agreed time of the month, Mr. Speaker, counties receive that which is owed to them, Mr. Speaker. Otherwise, many businesses will continue to crash, Mr. Speaker, on account of supplying to a county government that you know will never pay you. People will go without salaries. Counties will be forced to borrow, Mr. Speaker, to pay and meet even day-to-day subsistence obligations, Mr. Speaker, therefore incurring additional cost. So I want to plead with this Budget and Finance Committee that lead us into a better solution other than this one of having to wait for exchequer releases, that you have to wait for resources, Mr. Speaker, to be collected. When you have a shock in the system like we had last year with the Gen Z protests, Mr. Speaker, and court decisions with regards to finance bill, then counties stayed, I think, up to almost December without receiving any significant funding. That cannot be the way and the basis upon which you run a county government. Something must give, and I believe as a House, it is not beyond us to think what will be a better solution than the current system. At least we are all in agreement that this current system doesn't work in the way that it was envisioned. With those main remarks, Mr. Speaker, I beg to support and hope that, Mr. Speaker, we can be able to conclude on this matter as well as many other business that are before us. At least I'm happy that there are many members that are back in the House now as opposed to earlier in the day. I hope the whips, Mr. Speaker, as we speak, are whipping so that we conclude on this today. I thank you.
Senator Wambua.
Thank you, the Speaker. Mr. Speaker, yeah, the majority side is weeping from the comfort of their chairs. Mr. Speaker, I rise in support of the disbursement schedule. And I want to make a few comments on it, Mr. Speaker. One, looking at the first schedule, I associate myself fully with the comments by the majority leader. That surely, the Speaker, this is May, actually end of May, the time that we are now trying to approve this schedule for certain cadres of public servants in our counties to begin to receive their pay, and they have already worked for this number of months. Mr. Speaker, something must happen. A decision, Mr. Speaker, has got to be made. And I think this Senate, Mr. Speaker, has a role to play in making that firm decision, led, of course, by our majority leader. Mr. Speaker, this issue of CHPs, it's becoming a national nuisance, really. Mr. Speaker, we cannot live in a country where people who are offered a service, contracted to offer a service, then must also take to the streets for them to be paid for the services for which they have been hired and contracted. A solution, Mr. Speaker, to the CHPs must be found. We must not sit pretty in the Senate, knowing as it were, Mr. Speaker, that health is a devolved function. I think, Mr. Speaker, I would want to challenge the Senate Committee on Health, led by Senator Madago. Mr. Speaker, I know they have tried to do what they have tried to do, but I want to challenge them to now draw the line in the sand and say enough is enough. We cannot have these demonstrations outside Parliament, in the streets of Nairobi, every day, every week, for people just demanding the same thing, and it is their right to be paid this money, Mr. Speaker. Something really must happen so that we get done with this matter. Mr. Speaker, on the issue of, under the same schedule, the first schedule, on the issue of KIBES. Mr. Speaker, for whatever reason, whatever wisdom was used to phase out the allocation of the national government share to county governments to construct the industrial parks, there were two phases that I know of. There was phase 1 and then there is phase 2. My county, Kitui, Mr. Speaker, did not make the list for the first phase. But, Mr. Speaker, because of a desire to create jobs and push forward the manufacturing agenda in our county, the county executive of Kitui approached the county assembly of Kitui and they approved the share of the county government of 250 million Kenya shillings for the construction of KIBE at a place called Kanyonyo, the Speaker, in Kitui Rural Constituency. The last time I checked, that construction had been done up to around 40%. But, the Speaker, there are counties that have already received the government share of KIBE. And they haven't even done 5% of those constructions. This is my appeal to the decision makers and policy makers in relation to KIBE, is that those counties that have demonstrated a willingness and even committed their funds for the construction of these KIBEs be fast-tracked and get their share of the government funding to complete their KIBEs. The Speaker, when I look at the schedule for Kitui, it is blank all through. That the entirety of this financial year will not receive a cent from the government share. And yet we have committed our own resources for the construction of the KIBE at Kanyonyo. And as I said, this is a non-discriminatory expenditure where the county government of Kitui and all other county governments have no discretion. It's a decision that has been taken at the national level that they should be constructed, Mr. Speaker. The least that we can do is to match the amounts of money that counties have spent on these KIBEs to ensure completion and utilization of the facilities. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, the second schedule is on the issue of court fines. Mr. Speaker, I don't know whether this interpretation is right, and Senator Robert will have to help me with this. I don't know whether there's a correlation between the level of crime in a county and the amount of money that is allocated to these counties as part of the share from court fines. And if there is a correlation, Mr. Speaker, then I must thank the people of Kitui profusely, Mr. Speaker. Because for the entire financial year, the only money accruing from court fines is only 100,000 Kenya shillings. I'm sure Senator Kakamega is wondering which heaven this is. I mean, this is, if there is a correlation then between crime and amount of money that accrues from court fines, then the people of Kitui County are doing extremely, extremely well. Can't compare them with people from other counties that I want to mention. But the Speaker, this money being what it is, because it is very, very little money. The Speaker, some of this money, because it's already accrued, it's already realized revenue. I don't see why we should even be staggering this amount of money, the Speaker, through the committee. Money is as little as this should just be disbursed once, so that then it's already realized revenue. It's not money that people will be looking for. It's money that they have contributed to the exchequer. If they can just get this money and do with it as is the right way to deal with it. The Speaker, with those many remarks, I support the schedule. I thank you.
Now, before I allow more comments on this motion, allow me to make this communication. I'd like to acknowledge the presence in the public gallery this afternoon of visiting teachers and students from Tengecha Boys High School in Kericho County. The delegation comprises 3 teachers and 57 students who are in the Senate for a one-day academic exposition. Honorable Senators, in our usual tradition of receiving and welcoming guests to Parliament, I extend a warm welcome to them, and on behalf of the Senate and my own behalf, wish them a fruitful visit. Also, I'd like to acknowledge the presence in the Speaker's Gallery this afternoon, a visiting delegation of legal officers from the Parliament of Ghana, who are undertaking a benchmarking visit in collaboration with the legal officers in the Directorate of Legal Services in the Senate. Honorable Senators, I request each member of the delegation to stand when called out so that you may be acknowledged in the Senate tradition. Ms. Doreen Asante, Ms. Mary Wendy Yebo, and Mr. Edwin Trufor. Honorable Senators, on behalf of the Senate and on my own behalf, I extend a warm welcome to them and wish them a fruitful visit. I'll call upon the Majority Leader to extend a word of welcome to both delegations. You may proceed, Majority Leader.
Good. Thank you. Mr. Speaker, I join you on behalf of my colleagues here in the House this afternoon to welcome this visiting delegation from Tengecha High School. This is one of the top performing schools in our county. I hope, Mr. Speaker, that they will get a full value of the time that they took out of school to come and interact with members here. I have watched them patiently and keenly follow through with the discussions in the House this afternoon. I did not know that they are from my county, but I'm proud of them for the journey that they have traveled in making this institution a great institution. Mr. Speaker, I wish them well as they, for the remainder of the day, and even as I travel back home to Kericho. I will step out briefly to meet with them, Mr. Speaker, and share with them one or two things. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, is to also welcome our visiting delegation from the Parliament of Ghana, Mr. Speaker. Our staff in Parliament, Mr. Speaker, rank up there with the very best you can find globally. I say this, Mr. Speaker, because I have served as a chairperson of the Staff Welfare Committee, and I know the dedication and the competence of our staff. Each year we receive delegations from across the globe, Mr. Speaker, who come to interact, learn, knowledge share, skill transfer from various parliaments around the world. Therefore, I hope that this delegation will not get anything less, but interact and learn and share knowledge together with our staff. I wish them well in the remainder of their time here in Kenya and as I travel back home. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Mungatana, we proceed with the debate.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise in support of the motion that is before us. Mr. Speaker, the Constitution of Kenya says in Article 202 that revenue will be raised nationally, but it will be shared between the two levels of government, between the national government and the county government. Mr. Speaker, one of the problems that I have identified since we have been in this Senate is that the National Treasury, Mr. Speaker, seems to be holding brief only for the national government. And it does not, in many ways, consider county government as part and parcel of it. Mr. Speaker, it is time that we consider seriously how we can pass legislation within the Senate in our capacity as the protectors of the counties, so that we can create a separate treasury or a division within the treasury that specifically serves the county governments. Mr. Speaker, the problem with this schedule is that when it comes to exchequer releases, when it comes to disbursements to our counties, the National Treasury tends to lump the responsibility of disbursement to the counties with all the other responsibilities within the nation. And then the responsibility to disburse timeously to the counties, it is relegated to the back, so that, Mr. Speaker, they will disburse money favoring the national government, and they will disburse money disfavoring the county governments. So, Mr. Speaker, this is a challenge I would want to give to the committee chair of finance at the Senate. Mr. Speaker, time has come for us to sincerely look at how we can use Article 202, that revenues are raised nationally and shared equitably between the national and county governments. Develop some law within that will create a department within the Treasury that is dedicated to county governments. So if monies are being raised by the Kenya revenue authorities, they should be equitably divided, so that there are two sets of consolidated accounts. One set for the national government and one set for the county government. So that when we say there are delays in exchequer releases, then it will be specific that the Treasury from the county government is not releasing the funds in good time. Mr. Speaker, if this is not done, then like other colleagues have said here in the past, or even in this debate, that it will become a ritual, that we shall pass a schedule, and then this schedule is not respected because the national government operates as if the Treasury only belongs to the to servicing the national government and not servicing the county government. So, Mr. Speaker, I think this is one point that we need to look at and see whether going forward we could even have a clear constitutional amendment that creates a treasury dedicated only to county governments, so that we have the treasury that will serve county governments and the treasury that will serve national governments. If this is done, and done in a very technical and nice way, then, Mr. Speaker, we will not have even to debate schedules, because the funds will be disbursed at the correct time within the time that we pass. Once the Senate has approved, then it is processed from the treasury that is dedicated to serving the county governments. So, Mr. Speaker, I support and I pray that the Constitution will be followed in this manner. I support. Thank you.
Senator Thangwa Karungo.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, to give me an opportunity to support this schedule for the counties, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I've noted, and Senator Wambua has also mentioned, on the issue of disbursement of unconditional additional allocation from court fines. And from the schedule, Mr. Speaker, 116 million is going to only 10 counties. And these are the court fines, to my understanding, is the fines that people from these counties have been fined by courts probably for breaking the county laws within that particular counties. Kiambu is receiving about 10 million from these county fines. Nairobi, which is getting the bigger chunk of the money, is receiving 70 million, 740,842 shillings, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as much as we would take this as an allocation, I think the Senate should also look into this issue and find out why some of these counties are breaking the law, or why some of these counties are getting these chunks of amounts, while others, like Kakamega, Mr. Speaker, which is equally the same with the county, with Kiambu County, 12 wards, 12 constituencies, 60 wards, and the budget is almost similar. Yet a county like Kakamega, they are receiving zero. That means probably in that county, they never broke the law. So I think we should take it as a case study, Mr. Speaker, to get to understand why it is the way it is, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as we pass this allocations, Mr. Speaker, we also need to request COB and the executive to be releasing this amount of monies in time. In the morning, Mr. Speaker, we were sitting at the Committee of Devolution, of the Senate Devolution, at the Senate, and we had members of the County Assembly from Machakos County and their Speaker, Mr. Speaker. And we were told the members of the County Assembly of Machakos and their staff have not been paid for the last 3 months, Mr. Speaker. And I believe it's not only Machakos County. Even some other counties are not receiving their money on time. So we should ask the executive, Mr. Speaker, to make sure they disburse these amounts on time so that they can give money where it's due, Mr. Speaker. And, Mr. Speaker, the reason why maybe probably the trust and confidence of this government might not be in tandem with what everyone is thinking, Mr. Speaker, is because counties do not have money, Mr. Speaker. Counties have not been, the monies have not been disbursed. Yet we see the government, through some programs that have not been budgeted for, in the name of economic forum, Mr. Speaker, going to every county, giving handouts to people, Mr. Speaker. Somebody might ask, why are these programs happening that are not budgeted for, they are not within any law, no motion was passed on it, yet the monies that the Senate has allocated and approved is not being disbursed to the counties, Mr. Speaker. I think this is an issue that we need to look into. And if we are to summon whoever, Mr. Speaker, is not disbursing these monies to the counties so that they can explain, it should not be, normal for the Senate just to pass this kind of laws, the allocations, the disbursement schedules, but then the executive is not doing its part. And we just keep quiet and we look at it that way, Mr. Speaker. So I urge the executive to make sure that they give the monies. And if, Mr. Speaker, they don't have money, then why is it that when they say they don't have money or they have not collected enough, why is it that the only counties are suffering? The office of the president has all this budget. The office of the deputy president has all the money, to an extent that we are now dishing it out to anyone who asks for it, Mr. Speaker. So I think, as I support this, this is an issue that we need to look into, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Senator Olekina Ledama. As if Senator Olekina is not ready for a contribution, Senator Okongo Omogeni.
What are you saying? Yes, seniority.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to also make my comments. Mr. Speaker, first I want to appreciate the good work being done by our Chair, Finance, Senator for Mandera, Ali Roba, and I wish to make a few comments, Mr. Speaker. First, for some of us who come from counties that were privileged to get the county aggregated industrial parks, we are happy that we are sending money to our counties that will jumpstart the construction of these county aggregated industrial parks. But, Mr. Speaker, this dream will never be realized unless we have fiscal responsibility from our counties. Because I've had the privilege of going around as a member of a committee, and you will find, Mr. Speaker, that there are counties that have made very good progress in construction of these industrial parks, while some are lagging behind. And, you know, Mr. Speaker, there is no explanation other than attributing it to the effective management of our counties. Especially for my county, I'm happy to tell my people of Nyamira that we are now sending 52 million shillings to Nyamira. And I hope that the construction that is ongoing at Sironga will now pick up at a better pace than what we have seen before. Because we want these parks to be finalized and people start utilizing them so that we can see transformation. Otherwise, if we have them on paper, we are talking about county aggregated industrial parks, but we are seeing nothing, that adds no value to our people, Mr. Speaker. So I hope that our counties are going to make good use of the money that is being sent to our counties so that we can see progress, good progress, in the construction of these industrial parks. Curse be you, if you are a governor who receives money that is meant to transform our lives and you divert it to your pocket. And I'm asking also, Mr. Speaker, the watchdog bodies like ESCC and DCI to be on the watch out. Because, Mr. Speaker, what happens is the moment this money hits some of our counties, those who have a very good appetite for public money will start announcing that money has come and it gets diverted. Second, Mr. Speaker, on this idea of community health promoters, I fully associate myself with the sentiments that have been made by colleague senators who have spoken before me. Let us not dehumanize people who are trying to assist the sickly in our society. There are people who have told me, Mr. Speaker, that they have not been paid their paltry 2,500 for the last 6 months. I mean, how unfair can we be? As senators and other state officers, we receive our salaries timely, every month. If you are in arrears, it can't exceed five days, Senator Khalwale. But from my county of Kakamega, from my county of Nyamira, I don't know about Kakamega. You have community health promoters who wait for their arrears for 5-6 months. We are being very unfair. And I'm told this is happening in all counties, not just in Nyamira. This is something that we can never be proud of. And I'm hoping that we can find a solution, even if it's taking us to a classroom and we brainstorm and get a solution. We are not being fair to these Kenyans who have put their lives on the line to serve the sick, the needy in society. Their contribution does not deserve the mistreatment they are getting. They should be getting their stipend monthly. And you know, when we were passing this law, I remember last time we said, this idea of making people to be cashiers, we should even have them absorbed on contractual basis so that they can earn a salary every month. Otherwise, if you are not appreciating their service, why keep them? Because if you are appreciating the service you are getting from these community health promoters, Mr. Speaker, we should be paying them monthly. We know them, we live with them in our villages, where we come from our counties. We really need to do better. Doctors, Galwale, it's now becoming a ritual. Every day, people who are supposed to be in our health centers, in our hospitals, are outside here picketing. On a simple matter of just absolving them to be permanent and pensionable. And you look at the statistics, Mr. Speaker, we don't have enough professionals in that field. They are not there. Every day, I mean, for how long will this continue? And we are the people's representative. That's why they come here every day. Ask yourself, why have they not gone to the bus stop to picket there? They come picketing here because they know that the people's representative can find a solution. These guys are from our counties. We cannot allow this to happen, Mr. Speaker. There is a time in the last parliament we summoned, when we had a problem in the security sector, we summoned the DCI here, we summoned the IG, you remember? They all came here. We need to summon everybody in the health sector, Mr. Speaker, so that they tell us once and for all what do they want us to do so that we get a solution for these doctors, nurses, and the likes. We can't continue this way, Mr. Speaker. We must get a solution. And Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, I want to emphasize on fiscal responsibility. You know, Majority Leader, even if we, every month or every year, we sit here and disburse money to counties, unless we deal with the issue of money that ends up in people's pockets, we will never transform the lives of the people we represent, Mr. Speaker. As long as we are converting counties to be employment bureaus, we'll never, Mr. Speaker, transform the lives of the people we represent, Mr. Speaker. My neighbor, I heard you welcoming students from Tengecha. You should have emphasized that Senator Omogeni went to one of the best schools in Kericho, Kabianga High School. You should have mentioned that to them. Yeah, that I went to one of the best schools in Kericho that used to compete with the alliances of this world. So I really want to support Mr. Speaker, and I hope that our county, our chief executives at our counties will continue making good use of this money. We applaud those who have exercised fiscal
Order, Honorable
responsibility.
Senators. Order, Senator Cherargei, Majority Leader. Order, Senator Eddy. Allow Senator Omogeni to conclude his submissions in peace.
Yeah. So with those many remarks and under the coercion of my neighbor, Senator of Kericho, I beg to support, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Mundigi.
Asante Bwana Spika.
Order, Senator Aaron Cheruiyot. Allow Senator Mundigi to be heard in silence.
Asante Bwana Spika kwa kunipa ruhusa kuchangia mjadala ambayo unaendelea mambo ya pesa. Naunga mkono, lakini ningetaka tuweze kusaidia counties kwa sababu siko na shinda juu ya hela, juu ya health promoters na mambo ya madaktari na mambo ya visile vitu zingine kama mambo ya manji. Kama nafurahia kwa sababu kama kwa hii mgao ya pesa Embu County inapata milioni 279. Mambo ya upande ya Ndaninda watapata milioni 400, na pia health promoters na pia madaktari yote nakuja hiyo pesa. Lakini ningeomba tuweze kufuatilia na kusaidia, kwa sababu mara mingi county zinateseka kwa sababu kila kitu yote inaonekana kama magavana wafanyi kazi. Ningeomba wakati ule mwingine tukiongea mambo ya pesa, ningeomba mwenyekiti wa pesa katika Senate awe mara mingi tukipitisha au akiongea na Treasury ndio magavana wao wakipata pesa. Nikimalizia Bwana Speaker, naomba hata ile mgao ya pesa itakuja katika ile tunataka kuona kama counties tapata pesa nyingi. Ningeomba county zote siwe tukienda kupitisha kila county ipate bilioni 6 ndio magavana waweze kusaidia counties njia ya devolution, njia ya department zile zingine. Kwa hiyo Bwana Speaker, mimi naunga mkono, lakini mpaka Treasury iweze kuheshimu Senate na ndio Senate iweze kuheshimika katika maslahi. Kwa hivyo mimi kiwa Senator wa Embu County naunga mkono. Asante Bwana Speaker.
Thank you, Senator Olekina Ledama.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to make some brief comments. And noting that you are seated there, Mr. Speaker, I'd like to let the people of Bomet know that you've done a good job in making sure that they receive, at least with the CHPs, there are almost 74 million going to Bomet County. And also, in terms of the doctors' arrears, there's around 21 million going to Bomet County. Madam Speaker, Mr. Speaker, sorry. Nyamira County is equally, Mr. Speaker.
Order, Honorable Senators.
Mr. Speaker,
Order, Senator Boni Halwale.
I am really trying to do my job here because my voice is just gone, but it's fine. but I still have to come back and work. It is important that all of us should be here, really, because this is our primary goal. As senators, Mr. Speaker, can you please protect me from your colleague and also my brother who wants CDF and I don't want it? I will not mention his name. But the issue here, Mr. Speaker, that it is important for all of us to be here because this is what brought us here, to fight for money to go to our counties. Every single day, Mr. Speaker, outside there, doctors are protesting. Doctors are demonstrating, asking for their money. I'm happy, although I'm sad, that it has taken us almost to the end of the financial year to be able to pass this additional allocation revenue. Just because we had a big fight with the National Assembly on the issue of the RMLF. I think this is the point where we now divide all these things completely. Because you will find that Nyamira County is going to be receiving about 325 million in loans, another disbursement from the World Bank, and other donors like Danida. But will 1 month allow them to be able to absorb all that money? We just need to be able to think seriously on the importance of dispersing this money when that money is due. Coming to the tail end of the financial year to discuss additional allocation revenue or cash schedule, to me, defeats the purpose of what we do here. It is important also that all counties receive a share of all the court fines. Narrow courts normally collects a lot of fines. Why should we not calculate such that whatever amount each county receives, they get that money back to develop that county? Why is it that only 10 counties are receiving the court fines? Number two, Mr. Speaker, and I wish the Committee of Finance and Budget Chair was here. I've not seen the royalties from minerals. We produce a lot of gold in Narok. Why haven't we received the money from royalties? The only thing you are giving Narok County is money to pay the community health promoters, which is very little, around 49 million. And then you are giving them 21 million in arrears to pay their doctors. Where is our money when it comes to the royalties? The Chinese and other people who subscribe to that arena of mining are trooping Narok. They are in Loita Hills illegally. They are in Migori. They are in the border of Narok and Migori, in Transmara district. Tons and tons of loans. Sometimes you sit here and you are going through the news and you find that the company Kilima Pesa, which is mining in Narok, is listed in the London Stock Exchange. You know, you also hear that they have discovered a huge piece of gold which cost a lot of money. Where is our money? Those are the things that we ask. And that is why I want to beseech all of us here. When we are here, we continue fighting for our counties to get this money. So that we don't delay this, let us do away with this RMLF. If we cannot send RMLF to our counties, we put it aside. We develop another piece of legislation to argue on just that RMLF. You know, some of us feel like we shouldn't have Kura. You know, that money should go to counties. But today, when we are sending this money, May, the financial year is coming to an end in June because of our sibling rivalry between the National Assembly and the Senate. Really, are we not just joking? There's nothing we are doing here. So, Mr. Speaker, as I support this, I hope that we can be, all of us can be comprehensive in terms of looking at this document. See how much is going to your county. If there is any mining in Bomet, Bomet should get royalties. If there is any mining in Kericho, Kericho should get royalties. You know, Migori should get royalties. Narok should get royalties. But we are not getting that money. Court fines, every county should get. Unless you're telling us that Narok County courts should never charge any court fines. Then we'll be fine. But in terms of our share, that money, if it is crime which is being committed, it is being committed in Narok. We have no street lights because it costs so much to be able for our county government to pay for the street lights. You know, that fine can be able to help us offset that expense. So, Mr. Speaker, as I support this, I really think that we should not be in a rush just to pass it. We should ask questions. And the Finance Committee, let us try to advocate and let us try to encourage equity. You know, I know we can never be equal, but some form of equity would be able to help us. You know, we are fighting for devolution, but we cannot be saying that we are people of Narok County now, when they commit crimes and the courts in Narok charge fees, it should only support people in Nairobi. Nairobi, you should collect the money here from your courts and use it. So that is a matter that Majority Leader will need to really sit down and think about it. Otherwise, Mr. Speaker, I support.
The Honorable Senator Samson Cherargei.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. I'll just make 5 minutes comments. Mr. Speaker, before I make a comment with your indulgence, allow me on my own behalf and my family and on behalf of the great people of Nandi to pass my deepest condolences to the family of the late Father Alois Cheruiyot Adbet, who was unfortunately killed in Tot area, the parish priest of St. Matthias Mulumba Parish in Tot, Elgeyo Marakwet County, and to condole with the family. The Eldoret Diocese, led by Bishop Dominic Mengich and the Catholic Church and the entire region, especially Nandi County and Kilibwani area, Mr. Speaker. And I hope justice will not only be done to him, but to his family and all of us, so that we know who the killers are. And I want to assure the people of Nandi, Mr. Speaker, and the family, that I will not sit until justice is done for the killing and slaying of Father Alois Cheruiyot Adbet, who was unfortunately killed by the criminals. And I hope peace will return in Kerio Valley. So, Speaker, the second point I wanted to make is I'm surprised also. Nandi, we have Karepe Gold Mine. One of the owners of Karepe Gold Mine are based in Germany and Britain. Yet here there is no royalties that Nandi has gotten. Mr. Speaker, are you aware Karepe Gold Mine is listed in the US that they are paying $200 million US, but we are not seeing on the principle of local content, 50-20-10. Mr. Speaker, it's not here. I want to challenge the chairperson of Finance and Budget. It is not fair to the people of Chemelil Chemase. It is not fair to the people of Tindred. It is not fair to the great people of Nandi, Mr. Speaker. Because we have gold. And I know, Majority Leader, you are aware. If you are not aware, I'll organize a visit so that you see where we have gold in Karepe Gold Mine. I know. Yes, he knows. I'm happy he knows. Where they are paying $200 million on tax to KRA, Mr. Speaker. So we need to be told, why are we getting zero? I don't know Migori. I know Migori has also minerals. Imagine Narok. There is no royalties. I've seen Kakamega. Mr. Speaker, we must be told, where is the chairperson of Finance and Budget, Mr. Speaker? We must be told. And we must be told. Yes, because, and then number two, Mr. Speaker, the gold mine of Nandi must benefit the people of Nandi. That's what we are saying. The people in Kilipesa and Narok must benefit the people of Narok. They must be the people of Kakamega, Migori. We must see, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, I want to challenge on these royalties, even Majority Leader and Speaker, as we pass now. Because I support this, we must look on the issue of mining royalties. Or we will move to other fora, Mr. Speaker, to pursue justice. Mr. Speaker, on the issue of court fines, why would you fine people in Kapsabet and give to Nairobi? We are not being fair, Mr. Speaker. Let the court fines that we get in Nandi be used in Nandi, in Nyamira. Let the people in Nairobi use their own court fines to do their own things, Mr. Speaker, because we cannot be getting zero, Mr. Speaker. Number 4, Mr. Speaker, please, for the first time, I can agree Sifuna to inform me.
Senator Cherargei, the chair has not allowed Senator Sifuna to inform you. Now that you want to allow him to inform you, Senator Sifuna proceeds to inform Senator Cherargei.
Honorable Speaker, I just wanted to inform the Senator of Nandi that the people of Nairobi do not get an allocation for court fines imposed in Nandi. If you look at the schedule here, every county has a specified figure for the amount that comes from the national government that is collected as court fines in the specific county. So please don't make it appear don't make it appear that, we take money from courts outside Nairobi. The Nairobi allocation is for courts in Nairobi, and there's a unique situation in Nairobi where we agreed with the judiciary, Honorable Speaker, that the city courts here will be manned and managed by the county government of Nairobi, and that all the fines that are collected there should go back to the people of Nairobi. In fact, the problem is Senator Cheruyot, Cherargei, I think it's the same people.
Sifuna, I think the information is home.
Yes, I just want
to
conclude that, in fact, we in Nairobi feel that this figure, I think it was 87 million, was it, is still very low, Honorable Speaker. If you put into perspective the number of times Nairobians are arrested and harassed and taken to court by the Nairobi City Council county askaris. So our figure should actually be higher, but honestly, Speaker, it is putting in perspective the population and also the situation in the city. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Proceed to conclude,
Senator
Samson.
In the interest,
I believe
Mr. Speaker, I think this is the first time Senator Sifuna is giving useful information to this House, and I'm proud of him, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm appreciating you. I'm appreciating you. Mr. Speaker, that is why I'm saying this is it's useful.
Senator Cherargei, you allowed Senator Sifuna to inform you.
Yes, which I've said is useful information.
You are actually almost being disorderly by making reference to the fact that it is the first time that is giving any useful information. It is appropriate that you acknowledge and...
Let me, Mr. Speaker, with your indulgence, this is one of the rare occasions that I've gotten useful information from Senator Sifuna, and I hope he keeps at the good spirit, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, number 4 and final is on salary. I want to agree with my colleagues, Mr. Speaker, and I said before when you gave me a chance, why do you allow this UHC staff to demonstrate daily? Why don't majority leader and minority leader, you have led us even last week with consultation of former Prime Minister, Mr. Speaker. Why don't you call to order and committee of the whole? CS of Health and Ministry, COG, and stakeholders of UHC, you call through the powers, and we sit here, the whole House, and resolve this UHC. This is the legacy of so for the man, Mr. Speaker. I want to challenge the leadership of this House, led by Senator Sifuna, Senator Wambua, Senator Cheruyot. Please call a whole House, and we resolve this issue of UHC. Mr. Speaker, we are tired. We are tired, Mr. Speaker.
What's your point of order, Majority Leader?
Mr. Speaker, last 2 weeks ago I said that there is an emerging trend of content creators in the House instead of legislators. People, Mr. Speaker, who want to do things to the gallery, but they know very well that that is not where the solution lies. Senator Cherargei, I would have wished to help with this UHC challenge that we have. But you know for a fact that the solution lies in the National Assembly. All UHC staff are calling for is budgeting of their allocation for their salaries and consider absorption into counties, Mr. Speaker. Unfortunately, this is not the budget-making house, Mr. Speaker. In the division of revenue, we only consider resources that are divided vertically between the two levels of government, Mr. Speaker. But the final solution lies with our colleagues in the National Assembly. And I wish, in fact, today, when the UHC staff were outside here in the Senate, I sent a sergeant at arms to whisper to them that this is the wrong gate. The right gate to demonstrate is where they are now, Mr. Speaker, because they are presently before the National Assembly. So is it in order for Senator Cherargei to mislead UHC staff, Mr. Speaker, that their solution lies in the leadership of yours truly, and I don't know which other senator, while he knows for a fact that our powers are limited to division of revenue with regards to county allocation only, Mr. Speaker. I thank you.
Thank you, Majority Leader. He made reference to the leadership of the House comprising Senator Sifuna, Senator Wambua, and yourself. So, Senator Cherargei, you take note of the comments by the Honorable Majority Leader, particularly with regard to the mandate of this House. What other point do you want to share, Senator Sifuna?
No, Honorable Speaker, I wanted first to join the Majority Leader in saying that we as the leadership of this House have done our best for the UHC workers. The stage at which we are right now It's not about stories, it's not about petitions. They want money. Money to be allocated from the budget for their absorption on permanent and pensionable basis. Honorable Speaker, I must say, I was very offended that the person who's responsible for that, the chairperson of the budget committee, while at a church on Sunday in Nairobi, instead of telling the UHC workers how much money he has put in the budget, he attacks Sifuna for being the person championing the UHC staff workers. So as a house, the leadership here, we have done our best. Let the chairperson of budget, the member of parliament for Alego, put money for UHC workers, and I want to
Senator Sifuna,
encourage them.
I want to stop you there.
Yeah.
You are already making reference to a member of parliament who is not available in this house.
No, I just wanted to send the UHC workers to the right.
You have made your point. You have made
just
your
a
point.
moment, Honorable Speaker.
Take your seat, Senator Sifuna. Take your seat.
Honorable Speaker, just let me
Take your
conclude.
seat, Senator.
Let me just
You have
conclude.
made your point. Take
Just
your
a small point. Just a small
Senator
point, Speaker.
Sifuna, take your seat.
Speaker, just a small point.
Take your seat,
I wanted
Senator
the UHC workers to know that as SG of ODM, I have Honorable Atandi's number. And I want them to be the ones, the messages they are sending to us in this house should be directed to Senator Honorable
well.
Atandi. That's all.
That point is made.
Thank
That
you,
point
Chair.
is made. Senator Sifuna, take your seat. Senator Cherke, conclude as you also
Speaker.
correct the position that
Mr.
you made as
Speaker.
regards the leadership of this House.
Mr. Speaker, there is the principle of constitution. When you read the fourth schedule, Mr. Speaker, county health services is devolved. So I want to ask the majority leader to carry Constitution of Kenya 2010 closely and read Article 10 and Part 2 on the fourth schedule, Mr. Speaker. What I was saying, they should provide leadership because National Assembly has scarcity of leadership. That's what I was requesting. Was it too much to ask, Senator Sifuna? Yes, and in fact, Sifuna, you should call Atandi to order because he's your member of ODM and tell him to allocate this. That is what I was requesting, Mr. Speaker. I didn't request a lot. I know the chairperson of health, Senator Mandago. Mr. Speaker, we were discussing this issue of UHC. What I want to appeal to the majority, Senate majority leader, because he also has ears and eyes of who is who in this country, to whisper, Mr. Speaker, so that this UHC can be resolved once and for all. Is it too much to ask on behalf of UHC? It is not too much, Mr. Speaker. That is what I'm all requesting, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, finally, so on this issue of salaries, and therefore leadership of this House, including yourself, Speaker, let us come out, provide leadership. In fact, when I ask, Mr. Speaker, you can see the majority are whispering that Anas. The person who knows Anas is Senator Sifuna. He said in public that he has Anas by the name. I don't want to mention the name. Was it Cindy or somebody? Mr. Speaker, and he said it on record in Migori in presence of Senator Gisheru, Eddie. And I don't know, maybe we'll ask him why. In fact, that is why Sifuna is my greatest supporter today. Because when you talk about anything around health, he remembers one nurse that changed his life. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, so the issue of salary that will come to Nandi is 176 million plus, Mr. Speaker. I want to challenge this will go to community health promoters, it will go to industrial bank and health sector, Mr. Speaker. I expect this money to get value, and I agree with majority leader. He has said service is not about brick and mortar. My hospitals in Nandi are coming down, Mr. Speaker. When you go to Kapsabet County Referral Hospital, when you want to visit the most dirtiest hospital in Kenya, just go to Kapsabet County Referral Hospital, presided over by Sang Maladministration, Mr. Speaker. So I want to challenge and call upon the chairperson of health, and I've challenged him central, to come to Nandi. When you come to Kapsengere, it's told. You come to Kobujoy. Kobujoy is only, and you know the governor is your friend. God forbid if he gets an emergency medical condition. That project of Kobujoy Health Center is told, and he has consumed 100 million, Mr. Speaker. So I hope my doctors and nurses and healthcare practitioners in Nandi will get value. Finally, on the issue of World Bank and Danida, Nandi is going to get over 480 million, almost to close 1 billion, Mr. Speaker. We need to see this value. I have seen my project in Sosoria Township as told. Yet this money has been released, Mr. Speaker, 485 million, Mr. Speaker. When you see the footpaths that were contracted by county government of Nandi, The footbath that he contracted, Governor Sang, Mr. Speaker, cannot even be used by 2 dogs because it is too narrow. It cannot be used to pass by the 2 people, Mr. Speaker. We must be told what is the value. And 480 million, Mr. Speaker, is World Bank money. It is a loan. It is not a gift. It is not sadaka, Mr. Speaker. It is money meant to transform the lives of the people of Nandi. So this 485 million, Mr. Speaker, must give value to the great people of Nandi. With those many remarks, Mr. Speaker, I beg to support and let us vote, but I want to call upon the Finance and Budget Committee, let us sit on royalties and the issue of court fines. With those many remarks, Mr. Speaker, I beg to support and let us vote.
Senator Eddie Okech.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to make a comment on this. Mr. Speaker, there are some clarity that I wanted to make here that are very, very important. Mr. Speaker, we share revenue in 2 forms. Number 1 is the revenue that we share from equitable shares required by under Article 202, where there is money we share between national government and county government. And that, Mr. Speaker, informed our DORA, which we discussed the other time. And then secondly, after that, Mr. Speaker, then we fight here for SIGA. We fight for additional allocation to counties. Now, Mr. Speaker, that additional allocation to counties, the way it happens is that there are 4 areas where this money comes from. One has been contentious, and I'll go back to it because my chair has been implicated in this, and I need to explain to the House why it was important for the chair, perhaps not to put it on his talking notes. So number 1, Mr. Speaker, the counties must note that as a House, we fought for this actually and ensured that out of what national government gets as its share, under Article 202.2, they can put additional money to counties, and that additional money to counties in total, we are sending to counties 8.4 billion out of the additional shares from national government. Apart from that, we then have additional allocation from unconditional allocation from court fines. That would mean monies that come as a result of offenses that people have violated of respective county laws. On that, Mr. Speaker, we are scheduling today 116 million that is supposed to go to counties. Then lastly, Mr. Speaker, there is the issue of those additional allocations that come from loans that we get as a country, as well as grants that we get from other development partners as a country. And in this 3rd schedule, we are sending 37 billion. Now, my county of Migori, in those sections, Mr. Speaker, it is important that I report to the people of Migori that apart from our equitable share that we sent to Migori that had now passed 8.6 billion, Mr. Speaker, on the national government share, number 1, we are sending to Migori, or we are scheduling that Migori gets 186 million that is meant for CAIPs. That is the County Aggregated Industrial Parks, which had commenced and taken root in Migori. The status is still wanting that the governor must take note and ensure that this 186 million we are sending does the rightful job. The second thing we are sending to Migori here, Mr. Speaker, is community health promoters who used to be community health volunteers, sometimes past. Of course, they were incorporated. And these CHPs are a key component of our healthcare system in Migori County, and we are giving an additional 88.4 million in this schedule. And Mr. Speaker, lastly, on that national government share, we are sending an additional allocation for doctors' salaries in arrears that are in Migori, Mr. Speaker. We are sending 27.7 million. In that category alone, we are adding a whooping 302 million to Migori County. I think this is commendable. But, Mr. Speaker, as it has been said, and it affects Migori and other counties, I wish the National Assembly, in passing this schedule, would have added under national government share a portion for universal health care workers. This should have, this is the portion that they should have added, Mr. Speaker, so that you can deal with this issue of moving the entire payroll of universal health care workers from national payroll and then putting them on county payroll, yet there is no money to follow that payroll. I think it's going to be problematic that we might face a situation where we will have a total collapse of primary health care because, Mr. Speaker, if that payroll is transferred to counties and there is no allocation under this additional allocation bracket, what will happen is that those workers will go to counties and then they will not work because there is no money. Then before they realize, they'll drop out, and hospitals, as well as all other healthcare facilities, will not function. So this is where I wish that the National Assembly, which, as senators have said here, Senator Cheruiyot has talked about it very passionately, Senator Sifuna has talked about it very passionately, this is a responsibility of National Assembly to be able to allocate money under this docket that could have gone to universal health care workers. And we will still fight for that and make sure that national government share must be able to take care of this. Moving on, Mr. Speaker, Migori County seems not to have so many offenders to the county laws because checking on this, we are scheduling under court fines as additional allocation just about 974,000 shillings. And Mr. Speaker, we are further scheduling to Migori County an additional 371 million under loans and grants. That includes FLOCA, that includes money from Danida, includes money from World Bank. And in all this total basket, Mr. Speaker, we are adding Migori County an additional 674.8 million. This is money that, Mr. Speaker, if you put to good use, it should be able to transform the life of people of Migori County. And I want to urge the leadership of Migori County, the county government, that after doing all this work here, we must make sure that these monies are put to good use and are put in a place that they can be able to serve our people. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, I said I wanted to bring a recourse to a conversation that has implicated the chairperson of finance on the issue of mineral and royalties. The reason why it's not comprehensive here, Mr. Speaker, ordinarily, that amount of money should also feature as an additional allocation to counties in this conversation. Because there are counties like Migori County that has got a lot of gold, and this money sometimes leaves our communities. It doesn't go back to Nyatike, it doesn't go to Osiri Matanda, it doesn't go to Masara. And even now, Mr. Speaker, if you look at Keancha, today you will see an emerging mining population in Keancha bigger than some quarters that have been known for mining. So the mineral royalties must go back to our counties. But I wanted to say that the reason why perhaps my leader in the Finance and Budget Committee did not talk about this, and perhaps it didn't come to this, is because, Mr. Speaker, the mineral royalties is guided...
Your point of order, Senator Mandago.
Yes,
Eddie, take your seat.
I'd like Senator Eddie to clarify. I've just had a statement. I thought, this English is also sometimes very confusing, Honorable Speaker. In his statement on minerals, he said that the chair of finance is implicated. This English will, the people of Mandera might think that their senator has begun some mining business, while to my understanding and perception, he was referring to the committee in terms of the role of minerals. Maybe so that it is clear, and because this is a house of record, Honorable Chair.
Senator Gasheru, proceed to make that clarification for the comfort
Yes,
of
Mr. Speaker, it is 4:51, and Senator Mandago has just walked in. So I understand his plight. I said that when one of the senators was speaking here, he accused the chair of Finance and Budget for not fighting for the inclusion of mineral royalties in this disbursement schedule as an additional allocation, which is true, but I was trying to give clarity of why that did not feature here. So that's where I was going, and next time try to come to the house early, Senator Mandago. So, Mr. Speaker, what's happening is that the mineral royalties is guided by the Mining Act of 2016, and that particular location is actually under Section 181 of the Mineral Act. That Mineral Act is further guided, Mr. Speaker, by the Mineral Royalty Sharing Regulations of 2023, which actually passed also through this House, Mr. Speaker. And if you further look at the PFM Act, Mr. Speaker, you'll see that the PFM Act under Section 28 requires that mineral royalties after the collection are first of all put into a mineral royalties collection account, which then, under Section 75 of the PFM Act, that collection account then must then be transferred to the consolidated fund account. Now, where does the sharing element come into? Under those regulations, Mr. Speaker, if you look at Section 5 of those regulations, and I'll read it word to word, it says that the accounting officer of the State Department shall prepare and submit to the National Treasury by the 15th day after every quarter a schedule of royalties on the amount. One, of the royalties received from holders of mineral rights, and then two, what amount out of those are due to the national government, and then are due to the county governments, and those that are due to the communities respectively. I don't want to bore you with much, but it goes actually further to share the apportionment in terms of percentages that must go to national government, county governments, as well as local communities. So that schedule is actually already there, and it is established by law and subsequent regulations. So it is not that the Chair of Finance wasn't aware of this. We conversed on this. The Chair of Finance is quite well informed. I am well informed as a member of that Finance and Budget Committee. Senator Boni Alori is just as well informed, and all the members of that committee are quite well informed. It's only that schedule is already prescribed for by law, and that's why it did not feature on this. With that, Mr. Speaker, I want to support this schedule, and I want to encourage that we keep on fighting hard, that the National Treasury must not only share with us this schedule for us to pass, but they must honor this schedule to ensure that those monies go to the counties on time, and those monies reach our people just in the same spirit as the equitable share that is furthered with Article 219, that says that money must actually reach those counties in time, without delay and due delay, and in the measure that has been passed in this House. I support Mr. Speaker, and I hope that we will go into a good ride with the National Assembly, as well as the National Treasury, in making sure that in future schedules, and actually in future county additional allocation resources, money will be allocated to UHC's workers to ensure that they are also included in this kind of schedule and can be able to get their money. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Abbas Mohammed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I also want to join my colleagues to support the disbursement schedules for 2024-25. Honorable Speaker, this additional funds schedule is coming actually too late. That it's now end of May, and you have only 1 month for this fund. And it's actually very unfortunate. I was a member of the Committee of Mediation, and every year, whenever we are talking about the additional funds, we must also have a mediation team, a committee, which is very unfortunate. It is actually the high time this House will discuss on how best we can handle this money independently from the National Assembly. Because it's actually a deliberate move that this money delays always. And at times, the Treasury release funds to the counties very late. You see, money not been released for almost 3 months for a whole quarter. And members, and even the workers are not paid. I think the issue of releasing funds to the counties must be discussed in this Senate, and we must come up with a way that we can be able to achieve money in a given time, like any other institutions in the National Assembly, in the national government. Honorable Speaker, in the Schedule 1, my county has received almost 265 million. And one is the CAIBs. Honorable Speaker, the CAIBs, this is the county aggregated and in the schedule back. I see so many buildings coming up in my county, very huge buildings. So asking myself, are these really a priority for me? Because even the industries, we don't even have cottage industries. So when you start with those big buildings, I fear that we'll be having white elephants after completing those buildings. Because even we don't have even the product to put this place, I don't know we're going to use for storage of cereal boards like a cereal board. One other thing, Honorable Speaker, the money allocated to community health workers. The community health workers actually are poorly paid. It's just a small token of 5,000 shillings per month. And even that 5,000 is not received on time. These people are doing a very important work, especially like my area, is about 56,000 square kilometers. Then somebody is being told, go and do some work. There's no transport, there's no other support, there's no even public means to go to some of these far-fetched places. And therefore, I'll urge the Finance Committee to look at this issue of the community health promoters, so at least we can be able to improve their allowances. As it is, actually, this is actually an abuse of human rights. Actually, this is actually a human rights abuse, because you cannot send somebody to go and work for you, and then you don't even give him the necessary support, and even the little 5,000 shillings delays. So I think we need to have, as you know, an outstanding salary payment or allowance payment for these members of the health promoters. Honourable Speaker, on the doctor's salaries, actually, as I've already said by some of my colleagues, it's very unfortunate. Every morning we're hearing people, doctors wearing uniform, loitering in the streets, making noise. This is actually unprofessional. And that's not happening in this country. These are not hawkers. These are people who have been going to school for almost 7 years, who want to do all the siding and then going one of the best brains in this country. And then they walk in the streets every day demanding for their rights. This should not be happening anymore. This Senate has to intervene and come up with a way where these doctors can be helped. Especially the UHCs are not only doctors. There are nurses there, there are health technicians of all sorts of cadre. And therefore, we must come with a solution to this problem. And this must come to an end. Finally, Honourable Speaker, I will ask the Committee of Finance also. If you go to our counties, the ECDs, this is actually the early childhood, don't have any money that has been allocated to them. They are the mass of the counties. The counties, and these are actually the people that we need to depend in the future. These are young kids that are coming up. They have no proper classes. They have no materials. They have no even desks. Some of them, like my place, kids are sitting down. The classes are actually overcrowded. And therefore, there is no allocation of funds for ECDs. I think that the additional funds shall have also ECDs money for the ECD classes and students, so that at least we can have a better environment for the learning of those young girls and boys that are upcoming Kenyans tomorrow, who will be the future doctors and everybody. For the court fines, Honourable Speaker, I think this is not fair. Every county must get the realities of the court fines. Because I know in Nairobi, every Kenyan comes here for the High Court or a Bill Court. And they come from all corners of Kenya. So the money should not only go to Nairobi or a few counties. The money must come to all counties, however little it's going to be. Finally, Honourable Speaker, the money from donors. There's a lot of money coming from donors. My county now is receiving 1.7 billion shillings. 1.7 billion is actually a lot of money. And it has been coming there even previous years. But unfortunately, what you see on the ground is just too little. Just too little, Honourable Speaker. For the issue of the health, I think the SHA issue has now improved the collections of the institutions, like the dispensaries, the health centers. But the problem is, this SHA problem, there is no proper accountability. The money is being used at the source. A lot of money is being collected, but there is no accountability, proper accountability, or that has been put in place. So I think for the FIF, this country must come up with a proper auditing and accountability, so that this money is actually a lot of money that's coming to various. It has really improved. The health centers, the dispensaries are now receiving a lot of money, but that money is actually not prudently used, and I'm worried that this money is going to be lost. And if there will be no accountability. Honorable Speaker, finally, one thing I want to say is that we will not be every day crying like young babies here. That money must be allocated to the counties, and we will say the Treasury must have a section for the counties, so at least they can have an independent institution that will take care of their funding and their budgets. With those few remarks, I beg to support it.
Finally, Senator Boni Halwale.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, two general comments. The first one is that we have to carry the country with us. There is so much arrogance amongst governors who think that this money can just find its way in the county revenue fund without the legislation we are doing now. So we want the countryside, the people to whom lies are sold by these governors, to hear what we are doing this afternoon is one, in the year 2024, 2025, when we shared money between the national government and the county governments, there was a balance which senators have been pushing the national government, and that balance is called an additional money from shareable revenue of the government that we are adding counties. The second one, in this particular bill, Mr. Speaker, let members of the public understand. In there, we have money which we are supposed to be given as counties, proceeds of payments made at our law courts. Then in there, Mr. Speaker, let members of the public know that depending on counties that do mining of various minerals, also this bill ensures that that money, royalty, is taken to the people through their governors. And finally, but not least, this bill is ensuring that the loans and grants from the World Bank, from IDA, from FLOGA, and other international communities, the National Treasury is now sharing with each county. That is the first general comment. The second general comment, which is important, Mr. Speaker, is I must apologize that we want to pass this quickly. Not because it is not important, but because we have run out of time. We have run out of time because governors and members of the National Assembly have taken each other to court. An amount meant for road maintenance levy, we were forced to remove from this bill, otherwise we would not have realized it this financial year. So because we have come to the end of the financial year, we've left that out and we are releasing this money, and I want to appeal to governors and members of the National Assembly in our counties. When it is about sharing contracts and tenders, governors and MPs are friends. When it is about hurling insults at senators, weak house, whatnot, governors and members of the National Assembly are friends. But when it comes to people's issue, 10.5 billion shillings to be released to maintain roads in our counties, all of a sudden, governors and members of the National Assembly don't want to agree. I want to appeal to the President of the Republic of Kenya and party leader of UDA. You have a strong 158 members in that National Assembly. And Raila Odinga, former Prime Minister, you have another 88 members of Parliament in that National Assembly. What stops the two of you? Having agreed at the top about broad-based government, what stops you from whipping these MPs so that they withdraw these little cases they have in court that delay members of the public to enjoy good, fit roads? And now, Mr. Speaker, let me come to the specifics of this bill. The people of Kakamega, arising from what I've said above, I want you to know today that Fernandes Barasa Odinga will receive 711,709,892 shillings because of this industry. I therefore, Mr. Speaker, want to appeal to the doctors of Kakamega. You are owed salary arrears. In this bill, there is 44,529,977 shillings. Doctors of Kakamega, please, these millions, next week, Barasa should pay you these arrears. If he doesn't, I will come and lead you to the office of the governor and we throw him out until he has paid you, is when he'll understand that we are not playing games in Nairobi, Mr. Speaker. Secondly, I want to appeal for calm amongst the community health promoters of Kakamega. In this bill, we have brought home 127,500,000 shillings. Mr. Speaker, I'm appealing to all the community health promoters from Likuyani to Lugari to Malava to Nabaholo to Shinyalu to Ikolomani to Lurambi to Mumiasi East to Matungu to Mumiasi West to Butere and Huisero. All of you, next week, take the nearest border, go to the governor's office, you'll find me there. He must pay you this money. It is there. If we don't force him, the theft he used to practice in Ketrako, he has exported it to Kakamega. He will chew this money, you will have nothing to eat. Mr. Speaker, because of this bill...
What's your point of order, Senator Faki?
Mr. Speaker, sir, I don't like to interrupt a colleague in his thoughts and presentation in this House. But I had, if I'm correct, I had Senator Khalwale saying that the theft at Kentraco, and that is his casting aspersions on the person of the governor of Kakamega. And I don't think that is right, because there have been no accusations leveled against that governor in this House to warrant such blatant attack and violation of our standing orders. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Boni Halwale, you are a senior member of this House.
Exactly.
I'd like to remind you about the provisions of Standing Order 121.
Exactly, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it is in fact because of that seniority.
The chair is not yet done.
Eddie,
Senator
Barasa's puppy.
Senator Halwale.
We are talking about the people of Kakamega.
Senator Halwale, order, Senator Halwale.
Speaker, sir, it is because of that seniority that I want to appeal to the distinguished senator from Mombasa. I'll deal with your point of order. Let me finish with that one.
Proceed, Senator Halwale. And
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I indicated to you that the chair was not done in directing you to the provisions of Standing Order 105 and
Yes.
121
Yes.
with regards to the nature of statements you can make and also the order in this House. As you do that, remember that particular provision of the standing orders. And the chair is aware that you are a senior member of this House, and I will not hesitate, by the way, to apply the provisions of this.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, indeed, it is because of the seniority that you are alluding to that I would like to appeal to my younger brother, who is my junior in this parliament by many years, that I'm alive to that fact. It is because of the ongoing case of 18 billion of Ketraco, for which the governor was arrested by EACC, that I've opened my mouth. And therefore, if you had challenged me, Mr. Speaker, why don't you keep your cool? If you had challenged me to then substantiate, I would have substantiated using that case. Mr. Speaker, sir, I want to use this opportunity Mr. Speaker, sir, for this reason, I would like to appeal to the governor of Kakamega not to look far, to take a walk and go to Bungoma and talk to his brother, Governor Lusaka, and take a walk and go to Kitale and talk to his brother, Senator George Natembeya. Both of them are doing a sterling job to the extent, Mr. Speaker, that the governor of Bungoma has received money for the construction of the County Agricultural Integrated Park. Governor Natembeya has received, but Barasa has not received because he has not convinced the national government that he has played his part. He should learn from performing governors of our region. Mr. Speaker, having said that, I want to speak to the issue of court fines. It's very unfortunate, Minister John Madi, you have signed this schedule. You have declared that Kakamega does not deserve even a single shilling from court fines. And you know that in a county of 2.5 million people, Kakamega, these cases go on all the time. Where is the reimbursement for Kakamega from the National Treasury, CS Mbadi? It is because of this, Mr. Speaker, that I want to draw the attention of members to the fact that this little money they are dispersing here to us is a sweetener. There is no audit to tell us how much money was collected in the whole country. This is arbitrary. In fact, this is the budgeted corruption that members of the public have been pushing on social media and other forums. Yes, I would like to be informed by the Senator of Kitui.
Senator Boni, Halwale. I haven't heard Senator Wambua requesting that the chair allows.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I proceed. Mr. Speaker, because these funds have not been audited, we don't know what it is that we deserve from the consolidated fund. Because of this, Mr. Speaker, I want to propose to this House that we should bring the necessary legislation or amendments to the PFM Act to provide that we now have a clear-cut structure that separates appropriation in aid at the courts due to cases from county legislation. We separate it from cases due to national legislation. This appropriation aid, it is very easy, Mr. Speaker. All we have to do, just like we have a county attorney, we can also in this law provide that we have a county magistrate court for dealing specifically with cases arising from county legislation. And then money due to those cases is paid not into the consolidated fund, but it is paid into the county revenue fund. The moment we do this, Kitui will get her money, Kakamega will get her money, Nairobi will get its billions because it is too much money here. This theft at the National Treasury that we are allowing, we must lock it with the necessary legislation. Mr. Speaker, if there is crime, then it is on royalties. There's so much gold in Kakamega that in his wisdom, the president has led his cabinet in recognition of that gold to construct the first and only gold refining factory in East Africa, in Kakamega. Mr. Speaker, the factory is under construction at Mwitambiza Market in Ikolomani. We want, Mr. Speaker, members, Just, you'll have your time to debate. Let me flow. I've already been offended by the rude interruptions from your side.
Senator Boni Halwale.
Yes.
As you continue, I've just been notified by the Hansard that Senator Cherargei order. The Hansard, Senator Boni, has just confirmed the reference by yourself to Senator Eddie's intervention, that you actually made reference to him not being Governor Barassa's puppy. As you proceed, you must withdraw and apologize on that reference. That
Yes, Mr. Speaker,
you need to do that.
Indeed, I used the word puppy. But because sometimes I attempt to speak clear English, I said,
Senator Boni Halwale.
Mr. Speaker,
the chair has directed that you withdraw and apologize for that reference before you proceed with your submission.
Yes, I want to do that, but I want to clarify what I said. I have...
Order, Senator Cherargei. Order, Senator Cherargei. Order, please.
Chair, I will not kill by explaining what I said and then apologize.
Continue.
Yes. Mr. Speaker, sir, I am not so unreasonable as to call a colleague a puppy. I said, you are not Governor Barassa's puppy. That's what I said. And if that word means in English that I call him a puppy, I withdraw and apologize. I would never call a colleague a puppy. Mr. Speaker, sir, it is because of this abundance of gold in Kakamega that the president has afforded us with his cabinet, with his government, to construct a gold refinery in at Mwitambiza Market. At Mwitambiza Market in a Kolomani constituency. Mr. Speaker, this is being the case. How on earth can the Treasury pretend that in this particular year, Kakamega did not deserve a single cent from minerals? And yet, now as we speak, if you go to Rosterman, 24/7, people are mining. Mr. Speaker, if you go to Imwiritsa village in Shinyalu, 24/7, people are mining. If you go to Isulu, if you go to Malinya, if you go to Shikoe, if you go to Lirembe, if you go to Masienze, people are mining gold 24/7. Mr. Speaker,
do you like to be informed, Senator Boni, by the Honorable Senator Sotsi?
Yes, Senator Sotsi is my younger brother. I can...
Mr. Speaker, I was listening to my senior and neighbor, Senator Halwale, very keenly. This weekend, I had an opportunity to visit the place where the refinery is being constructed. And it's a big complex. That place, all the gold in this country, including from my own county, will be refined there. But, Mr. Speaker, our counties, including Kakamega, are not getting any money, any royalty. I think it's important that we get an explanation. And one explanation, Mr. Speaker, is that the Ministry of Mining has entertained illegal dealers in gold in our region. And therefore, their gold goes into people's pocket and not the government, and therefore we cannot get royalties. Something has to be done about it.
That is true, and I thank you for that reminder. Mr. Speaker, these matters are so serious to some of us because the resources God gave particular counties are meant to help the counties to come out of poverty. Today, Mr. Speaker, if you go to River Lukose, which down the line becomes River Yala, Chinese have even come with a boat. They are mining with a boat. And when the villagers go to complain, the provincial administration then fights the villagers. These Chinese I had kept quiet because I'm tired of fighting these people since they get protection from the government. Armed AP police are there. Mr. Speaker.
What's your point of order, Senator Cherargei?
Mr. Speaker, I raise understanding 105 on accuracy of facts. When the senator, my good neighbor, states that the government is protecting them, what does he mean? I agree that issues of minerals are very emotive. Can he substantiate what he means? Because if the government is protecting an illegality, then it is very unfortunate. Then we need evidence of the same so that we can know in government who is protecting these individuals who are frustrating his people in terms of getting value for their mineral. Is it in order? He's a good Englishman. He should have said may, not shall.
You have raised your point of order, Senator Boni Halwale.
Mr. Speaker, with due respect to my neighbor, my time, if I could be allowed, my time had been eaten by standing orders. My points of order.
Your time will lapse upon the lights going off, definitely. Spend the remainder of the time to conclude.
I was just appealing so that I conclude this very important point.
Spend the remainder of time to conclude.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, I stand by that statement because I have been severally tear-gassed in Kakamega when I'm the senator of Kakamega now and and majority whip. I have been tear-gassed when we are fighting the police, protecting Shandakold and these Chinese. And right now, Mr. Speaker, as I speak, the Chinese have finished eating all our dogs, and now one of them I arrested 2 weeks ago, Mr.
Senator Boni Halwale, your time is up. Order, Senator Boni Halwale. Order, Senator Boni Halwale, your time is up. I'll allow the last person to contribute in that Faki so that we call upon the mover to reply.
Mheshimiwa Spika, asante pia kwa kunipa fursa hii kuchangia msaada wa kupeleka fedha katika kaunti zetu, Mheshimiwa Spika. Mheshimiwa Spika, kwanza naunga mkono mswada huu, na yangu mimi atakuwa mafupi kwa sababu wengi wameshaweza kuchangia na singependa kurudia. Mheshimiwa Spika, jambo la kwanza ni kwamba ipo haja hivi sasa kuwa na sheria ambayo itasaidia kaunti zetu kuweza kupata zile fedha ambazo zinapelekwa kwa serikali kuu lakini baadaye zinarudi kwa serikali za kaunti. Kwa mfano, Mheshimiwa Spika, faini zinazotozwa katika mahakama zetu za makosa ambayo yanahusiana na sheria ambazo zinasimamiwa na kaunti. Mheshimiwa Spika, kwa mfano sheria za ujenzi, sheria za wale wanaouza bidhaa rejareja bila vibali na sheria nyingine kama hizo, Mheshimiwa Spika. Pesa hizi, Mheshimiwa Spika, zinalipwa kwa serikali, alafu serikali inakaa nazo kwa zaidi ya mwaka mmoja. Baadaye ndio wanapeleka mswada bungeni, bunge liweze kukaa likapitisha. Kwa mfano hizi ambazo zinapelekwa mwaka huu ni pesa ambazo zilikusanywa mwaka 2022, Mheshimiwa Spika. Kwa hiyo ipo haja, Mheshimiwa Spika, pesa hizi ziweze kwenda moja kwa moja katika akaunti za kaunti ili ziweze kutumika kwa ule mwaka ambao zimeweza kukusanywa. Jambo la pili, Mheshimiwa Spika, ni zile royalties ambazo pia zinalipwa katika akaunti zetu. Mheshimiwa Spika, nitakupa mfano wa Base Titanium. Base Titanium walikuja Kwale wakachimba madini, mpaka sasa wamefunga. Lakini zile pesa ambazo zililipwa kwa serikali kuu, Mheshimiwa Spika, hazijaweza kwenda katika serikali ya kaunti ya Kwale wala zile kamati ama jamii ya Kwale ambao uchimbaji ule ulifanyika. Mheshimiwa Spika, kwa sasa nafikiri kaunti ya Kwale inadai karibu bilioni 1 pesa ambazo ni royalties ambazo ziliingia kwa serikali kuu lakini hazijalipwa kwa serikali ya kaunti ya Kwale. Vile vile karibu shilingi milioni 700 zinahitajika kulipwa kwa komiti zile za maeneo yale ambao uchimbaji ulikuwa unaendelea, lakini pia hizo, Mheshimiwa Spika, bado hazijaweza kulipwa na serikali kuu. Kwa hiyo, Mheshimiwa Spika, hizi fedha pia za royalties tunapendekeza katika mswada wetu ambao tutaleta marekebisho ya sheria ya uchimbaji wa madini kwamba zile pesa ambazo zinaingia za royalties serikali wapokee zake kando, serikali kuu na serikali ya county na zile jamii ambazo zinaathirika ziweze kupokea zake mbali na zile ambazo zinakwenda kwa serikali kuu. Kwa hiyo Mheshimiwa Spika, na asante kwa kunipa fursa hii.
Senator Olekina already yes, I'm seeing from the dashboard there is a request by Senator Olekina who already contributed to this. Honorable Senators, there being no other member, I call upon the mover, the chairperson of Finance Committee, to reply. Senator Roba.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I rise to reply, and I want to extend my appreciation and contribution to the Honorable Senators who have really contributed to this schedule. And I share the concerns that has been shared, particularly on the discipline of National Treasury adhering to the disbursement schedule as approved by the Senate, which has not happened. But considering we are approaching the end of the financial year now, the proposal in the disbursement schedule for county additional allocation disbursement schedule is that once passed, they will be able to disperse the funds in 2 tranches, 50% before the end of May and 50% within June. Honorable Speaker, as I reply, I have also had concerns about mineral royalties shared by some colleagues. It is very important for our honorable senators to understand, for mineral royalties to be shared, the government must have collected mineral royalties through the formal channels, so that then you pay mineral royalties from the mining of minerals. Now, once you mine and it goes through the government channels, the government will collect some royalty. Eventually, then, in accordance with the law as passed, the percentage that is supposed to be shared with the county government is going to be now given to the county government. Now, even if you have unlimited mining taking place, but that is happening without documentation, without that mining going through the government system, then you cannot expect to get a share of mineral royalty. For example, Migori has gold. If the mining in Migori is happening in the black market and the selling is happening in the black market, but it's not going through the formal channels of government in terms of payment of mineral royalties for mineral extraction in quantities that are documented and in values that are collected, then a percentage of that share cannot be shared back to the county government, because the government would have collected nothing. So it does not matter whether it is in your record and you know there is too much gold or this mineral, that mineral in your county. If the government system has no visibility of that in terms of collection, recording, payment of royalty in the stipulated rates, then the government will not have any record to be able to say, we've collected from Mandera. Mandera is mining gypsum in this quantity. If that quantity is not documented to do the formal system and royalty is paid for, then the government will not be able to give you, yes, you can give you a point of order if you are given. No. So mineral royalties are shared only on the basis of royalties collected by the government, not on the basis of minerals that you know the mining is taking place in your county. And that is the important information that needed to be shared. And honorable senators.
Senator Osotsi, what's your point of order? Take your seat, Senator Roba.
Mr. Speaker, 105, Standing Order 105. The chair has indicated that those counties that don't get money is because the minerals that is mined in those counties is mined in informal arrangements, sort of. I just wanted to say that in my county, the cabinet secretary for mining has visited some of the mining sites. He has also visited Migori County, I've seen, inspecting those mines. Does it mean that the cabinet secretary, who is a government official, who is supposed to know the right channels in which minerals must be mined, is condoning that practice of mining through informal arrangement? Mr. Speaker.
The chairperson, I'm sure, did not specifically make reference to those particular ones, unless I didn't listen to him. He made reference to general mining areas where royalties do not go through the proper channels that would entitle a payment of the royalties. But Chairman, kindly clarify that as you reply.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I would like to just inform my colleague that the money being shared in the name of royalty will only happen through royalties collected by government in the stipulated rates. If the government has no collection of raw minerals being, the mining that's taking place in, say, Nyamira County, for example, and it has not gone through the formal challenge, even if we know there are minerals mining that is taking place, then expecting a share, unless there's evidence of collection of royalty, expecting a share is not entirely reasonable, because what is being shared is money collected by the government. Then a portion of it under the law, as shared by Senator Eddy, in specific terms, the different sections of the law, and the percentages is stipulated, is what is being shared. That's all I've said. And I cannot respond on behalf of the Cabinet Secretary or anybody else, but I'm only with authority stating that royalties being shared are royalties collected by the government. That is just a very basic principle. Honorable, Mr. Speaker, sir, the disbursement schedule we are seeking to pass today is an amount of 50 billion shilling that is going to our counties in the form of county additional allocation. And these are amounts in just a few key categories. The first schedule of the disbursement schedule is carrying allocation financed by national government as a share of 8.42 billion, comprising of conditional allocation for construction of county governments, the few counties that were promised, to the amount of 523 billion. 2.9 billion conditional allocation for county aggregation industrial parks. 3.234 for community health promoters. 1.759 billion conditional allocation for basic salary arrears for county government health workers. The second schedule carries disbursement of 116.1 million as court fines. And also the issue of court fines, Honorable Speaker, I would like to clarify that unless your county legislation imposes a fine for which on your behalf the courts will collect, then you are entitled to a share. Then you cannot expect if it's general collection. And it does not mean necessarily you have lower crime rate or higher crime rate. It just means that the legislation in that county may not have carried the penalties required for the courts to be able to collect that on your behalf. The third schedule is carrying 37.9 billion as conditional allocation from loans and grants from development partners. Honorable Speaker, as I reply, and I am extremely happy to find the contributions and support from the senators, as I reply, I would like to say the onus is upon the Senate to do its responsibility. That gives us the moral mandate to be able to criticize our county governments for not doing this or not doing that after we've executed our mandates as the Senate. And the controversy that surrounded the county additional allocation between the Senate and the National Assembly was resolved at a much later date in the year. And we will only do a lot of, diligence by way of approving this county additional allocation disbursement schedule in order to make sure that I know that because these are conditional grants, most of these grants are covered under a special purpose account differently for each donor-funded unit. So the money is not going to be lost. Even if the county governments cannot absorb it, the money is going to go into the special purpose account for the specific grant. And thereafter, they will be able to include it into their budgets by end of June 2025, and be able to use it now as appropriated, but the money will be with them for them to be able to spend in line with the conditions that are given. Honorable Speaker, I beg to reply and request that the putting of the question be... I beg to reply. Thank you.
Honorable Senators, we are moving to division, and Sergeant at Arms, could you please ring the quorum bell for 5 minutes?